Any thumbnail complaints? Actually, you know what? After that thumbnail I saw on your channel, AJ, I don't think you get to say anything.
That was the greatest thumbnail
AJ,
you've ever witnessed. Only the chosen ones saw it. Hey guys, did you hear that Sony was patenting some controller technology that lets you play games from a banana? Would you want to do that? I'd like to play from a banana or like an orange.
What the fuck are you talking about, AJ?
That's a real thing, man.
Do you know how frequently you have to replace that controller? Like every week or so.
The only way I would do it is if
every 5 minutes, because I'd be eating.
They got to make Ape Escape VR with banana tracking, finger tracking. Ape Escape VR. I'm in.
Okay.
This controller is delicious on a peanut butter sandwich. Is all I'm saying.
I hate to tell you guys, but I'm cueing the cat.
Cue the cat, man, because I want to say what's up to Johnny Mentology. PSVR without parole in the chat today.
I think that's me.
Looking like he can't type. Richard's gameplay, Ron, Wheezy, Jeppy, Condile. Hello, Jeppy. Thank you with the donation early. Debuski, hello. Lots of Doom conversation. Oh, I can't wait.
Doom and
more
conversation.
Distracted. The Game Cat says, boys. Farat542. That Game Cat in the chat. Ash VR. Seb. Julia the Game Cat. Meow. Sinner 669. The Unholy Game Cat. Robert Sullivan. Hibsy the Game Cat. Our local news. Scoop. Secrets of Hello. Berber Cat. Rody the Game Cat in the house. Same with Jay Meow. Trusty Mods in the house tonight. Be on your best behavior or they will zap you. Mr. Will. Professor Lilith. Hello. Gaming Psycho says good night. Good morning. Andrew Bailey. Twitcher, the single player Game Cat. What up? Play up. Red Rover said Joe Grover over. Dennis Frazier. Skeletor163 says, I want Sony to make a Spider-Man game. It would make them so much money. I agree. Insomniac. If only they had the developers who made Spider-Man. Guyson, fist bump to you. Another trusty mod. Gabriel 004, the license to meow. Game Cat. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Oh, look, we've got Banana Sean in the chat today. Hello. I was just talking about you. Bob Zark off the Underground. Dave Station, Game Cat, Elite Name Squad in the house. TJ Silver Lake. Chief, the VR Gamer. Hey, man, good to see you again. Jamie Slark. Johnny No Pockets, a.k.a. the Who Dat Game Cat. Shades of Gray Matter. Sounds like a really cool album that Bryan would probably listen to.
I don't think we can consider any of the music out there.
Cool. Impulse, Arlen, right? Theodore, Nick Mulo, Steve IRE, Sharon Finlay, Neverender 432, V the Game Cat.
What everybody's bongs of choice are in the chat here. Everyone's talking about how they make their bongs.
Lightning, Patrick M, Decepticon. Oh yeah, Rory Bicamanachi. I think I said that right. Really fast. TYB. Hello, everybody. Jay Kiefer. What up, man?
This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We bring it to you live because that's what live means, guys. We're sitting here, we're talking about some PlayStation VR games, and whoa, what a crazy week it's been. I'm excited to talk about all this stuff. If you already watched AJ's interactive chat last night, then you know everything we're about to say, but that's okay. Because we're going to say it all over again for anyone who missed it. My name is Bryan Paul.
It's different. It's different.
It's not different. It's the same thing.
This one is more immersive, okay?
There's got to be, if it's an interactive chat, there's got to be a button I can press to give you a little zap, like on your nipples or something, like while you're playing, just to fuck with you.
Listen,
Bryan might like that.
It's called the love sense.
Something that he wouldn't like.
It's called the love sense.
What's it called?
And you have to.
Yeah. What did you? Yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned the love sense. I was like, what is the love
sense?
Don't
pretend you don't. Listen, if you pretend you don't go to chatterbait.com, then I don't believe you.
We're off to a good start here.
I mean, that could have been a real thing.
To my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station VR.
Give it to me. I don't even care. I'll take it.
Yeah, man.
Dude, chainsaw.
Like
it's Doom Week,
chainsaw.
man. You need that chainsaw.
Yes.
You need to kill some
That's true.
bad guys.
Hell yeah.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, man.
And on the right-hand side of the screen is AJ from The Underground. PSVR Underground.
What's up, man? Howdy, cats. Howdy, Bryan, Dave. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's do this.
You greet everybody with a gun? That seems weird.
It's not a gun, Dave.
I mean,
not yet.
Saying.
I mean, he lives in the South. It isn't. I thought that's just the way it works in the South. You're like, hi, my name's AJ. What's going on? How you doing, huh?
Yeah, we just get into Wild West shootouts, like, just normal.
That would be so cool. One of my favorite games when I was a kid was Law of the West on Commodore 64. You'd walk around, you were the sheriff, and you'd have conversations, and you'd try to take care of everything peacefully. But then you could pull out your gun and just shoot the motherfucker.
Sunset Riders, man. Sunset Riders.
I mean, sure.
That's where it's at.
Konami was great, but I think this was, shoot, I forget who made it. Activision? No, that can't be right. Guys, we have so much stuff to talk about, but I think we should probably take care of a little housekeeping first. If you are not already in our Discord, make sure you click that link in the description and join our Discord. It's free to join. There's no membership dues, and you can hang out and talk to, us if you want to, but there's a lot of way cooler people there to hang out with and talk to. So that is always an option. Of course, make sure you subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR and AJ over at The Underground. And I think we should probably just get this show started. Like I said, lots to talk about.
Might as well.
And we start the way we begin every week with the lowest game of should we or shouldn't we. We put 6 seconds up on the clock on the counter with Jeremy somewhere out there. I want to sing like Fievel. You guys remember Fievel Goes West?
I love
Goes
Fievel
West.
Goes West.
Absolutely. I don't remember any of the songs from Fievel, but I had the board game, I think.
There's probably a board game for everything.
It's a board game for everything.
Even when you bring up Jeremy, you just like gesture out into the wilderness and you say, Jeremy, you have to reference an 80s movie, apparently. That's just how that works.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's our time to tell you out there, the loyal game cats, whether you should or should not be playing and or watching and or doing the things that we've been playing and or watching and or doing. The question, of course, is who would like to go first?
Give it to me.
No, I'm pointing at myself.
Okay.
On your mark, get this, go.
First. Okay, so this is a general one, which is just PS4 games that get a PS5 upgrade, whether or not it's free. They need to transfer the fucking save data over, and when they don't, it makes me very, very angry. Yakuza, Like a Dragon, which I've been meaning to finish and holding off on the PS5 upgrade to finish, got its upgrade for free the other day. I went and I installed it, was all raring to go, and then it said new game. And I was like, no, where's the continue? Where do I load my... Yep. And then I looked it up, and you cannot transfer your save data from PS4 to PS5. And that's an RPG that's like dozens of hours long. Like, I'm like 20 hours in. I'm not going to start it over again. So that's just really frustrating because so many other games have had upgrades. Like Hitman has a PS4, PS5 version. Those cross saves easily. Like, everything's syncing up just fine. If I play a stage on flat, in VR, the shit's unlocked, and vice versa. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that, but bad.
So let me get this straight. You're talking about when you upgrade the version from PS4, because I got all my PS4 saves, no problem. You're talking about when you upgrade. Now,
your
No
PS4
Man's
save
Sky
doesn't work on the PS5. Which
No Man's Sky is the exception, I guess.
Well, there's a lot of games that do this properly. I think Yakuza is the fucking exception because it didn't. But I'm just saying, in general, anybody who does this, it makes me very angry.
That makes sense. It's a fair argument. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
AJ, are you ready to go next?
I'm ready.
On your mark, get that, go.
So hopefully everybody picked up Dreams last week or right now, because it's only $9.99. And let me tell you a little bit about a game called Triagon. This is you remember Race the Sun? $10. And this is just a part of it. This is like a synthwave inspired like shooter arcade retro looking thing, but then it's got this like cool neon atmosphere, this thumping music, excellent progression system. One of the Game Cats has got the number 2 on the leaderboard. Shout out to Game Cat Julia. And then I've got 10 I've got like 8 or 9 on there on the leaderboards. And man, this game is so well designed. Like it's just made with love. And it's so much fun, and you have to check it out, man. The soundtrack is epic. The colors are beautiful, and the gameplay is awesome. Absolutely should we try it out.
Awesome. Cool, man. I've been showing Dream Borders footage here. So if anybody is for some reason unfamiliar with AJ's work in Dreams, he made this Cool Borders homage in Dreams. I mean, it was immediately better because it wasn't Cool Borders, and so you should go check that out and see and see what it's all about. Yeah.
Timeless classic.
Yeah. When's the last time you played that Timeless Classic?
When's the last time you played half of your favorite Timeless classics? To be fair,
he kind of does another channel.
Well, no, you play
if you like retro games and you want to watch me play Law of the West, and go subscribe to my retro channel. That link should be in the description below.
By the way, I played Cool Borders maybe a year or 2 ago,
and it holds
right
up?
around the time where I joined you. Yeah, it holds up. It's freaking awesome, man.
There was
We
no
have
good
so much more
snowboarding
stuff
game.
to talk about. We have so much
Okay,
more stuff
on my
to
mark,
talk
it
about.
says go. Listen, this is a weird one. Last night I just couldn't get my head together and I couldn't do anything, and I just wanted to like just lay there and like watch TV or watch something comforting, like comfort food television, you know. And I actually found a channel that I was really happy with on YouTube called Avalanche Reviews. They've got like 80,000 subscribers, but the dude puts out like one video every week or two, and they're like long. They're really long. They're like he does a lot of horror stuff. He likes a lot of Japanese stuff, and he's like really good with retro stuff too. And so it's like all my favorite things sort of like shoved together into one. And he did a RE clone, Resident Evil clone, retrospective, I guess. And it was in 2 parts. And each part was an hour long, so I just get to like lay there and watch these like Resident Evil clones. Dude's got a great voice for narration and voiceovers and stuff, and it was just really great. So I mean, like, you know, head over to Avalanche Gaming and like fucking tell them Without Parole says hi. That's
Sweet.
it, man. It's a really great channel. Yeah, he's
definitely
like,
check
who
that
the
out.
hell is Without Parole? Like, dude, this is a 7-hour video. I'm trying to work my way through right now. Is every Silent Hill game reviewed? It's a Silent Hill retrospective. 7 hours. I was like, I mean, everything is canceled.
Have you heard of Tim Rogers? You know about Tim Rogers?
Mm-mm.
So he's a guy who used to work at Kotaku, but before that, he got famous for writing this crazy Metal Gear Solid 2 review that sort of like brought in a new style of game reviewing. Essentially, people look at it like that. Like, It started this sort of movement where you insert your personal experiences and feelings and stuff into the game review, where you make it about like your experience with the game instead of just the graphics are great, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
And so he's been doing that for years. I think he left Kotaku to start his own thing, but he does like 4-hour-long reviews of Doom, and he's got like a 6-hour, I don't know, he's like a 3-hour Pac-Man review, and they're insane.
I don't want that like on a regular basis. I want it to only when it's catered to the things that I love. Like, that's why I like this channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a great heads up. I was totally unfamiliar with him.
Darkwing knows it. He says, "I was born stupid, but I will not die hungry." That's the Tim Rogers catchphrase.
Nice. That's awesome. All right, you guys. We have so much news to get through. We should probably jump right into it. It's been a crazy week. Lots of
AJ, you're on mute, by the way.
Lots of
I saw you talking.
PSVR news. Lots of new games announced. But I don't know. Where do we start? I don't even have the run and show up. AJ, where are we starting today?
Oh man, we have a lot to go on. I don't know if you guys heard the news, but Sony celebrated a bunch. They had PlayStation Spotlight Day, which we're going to get into. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Why don't you take care of that tip before we get going?
Let me take care of that tip. Wow. All right, thank you, Tree Guy. And thank you, the VR Slayer 420. Someone go smoke that guy up for his $50 tip. Holy shit. Says, hey guys, what's up? Love your streams. Keep it up. Thank you for the intel. And do you know when Beat Saber multiplayer for PSVR is coming? It's driving me nuts, LOL. But much love right back to you. Dude, no one knows apparently when that's coming. Beat Games said that they'd keep everyone up to date, and there has been really no update for a while. They thought it was going to come in January. January obviously came and went, so did February, and here we are just waiting for an update. A little disconcerting, but hopefully we'll get that in Poker Stars very soon. So anyone asking about Poker Stars, we don't know that either. So thank you again. Really appreciate your
That'd be cool
support.
So before we do a deep dive into all the amazing announcements, guys, there was games, a bunch of games that were announced yesterday, some new ones, some old ones that we got an update for. And then there's also been some more today. And then at the end of this, of course, we have a huge indie sale that we've been pushing off for like a week or two that we finally have to break down and go through. But first, we're of course going to start with anything PS5 related. And this is regarding the internal storage firmware update. Gamesindustry.biz, James Batchelor said Sony will allow PlayStation 5 owners to expand the internal storage of their next generation console later this year. That's according to sources close to the matter talking to Bloomberg, who say a summer firmware update will add support for extra storage drives. For those who don't know, there's an internal storage expansion slot for the SSD. The PS5 only comes with 500 gigabytes. And so this summer is when we are expecting to be able to finally expand the storage internally.
Excellent. Yeah, I keep running out of space, especially with these like I don't know, with Hitman having the PS4 and the PS5 version and having both of them installed at the same time, to try both of them was just like killing my hard drive. So this will be great.
Yeah, this is it's shocking, to know that we're still in the beta phase of PlayStation 5. Like this certainly was something that should have been ready for launch, and now they're like, oh yeah, we're working on it. But this
Pandemic.
the pandemic. They had a deadline to meet, and they made it. The PlayStation 5s got out there. Shockingly, some of them got out there. Apparently, not all of them. So I guess the lack of them shouldn't be shocking. But yeah, this was sort of like one of the things that, I don't know, just kind of got lost in translation, I guess. But it's good to know they're aware of it, and they're working on it, and there'll be a solution this summer. Everything's coming this summer. This summer is going to be insane. No one's going to leave the house this summer. Every single time I hear a new announcement, it's this summer.
We won't be able to anyways. We still won't be able to anyways. We're not going to be all vaccinated.
No one's going
to
go.
I'm not leaving the house all the way to summer either.
Dude, like people will still go to the beach and stuff. Like they pack it in on the beach. I'm like, you guys are insane.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, I live in Florida, man. I understand entirely.
The heart of insanity.
Do any of you guys use external storage? I use a external 4 terabyte Western Digital thing, and
I never have before, but I would with this one just because I feel like going from the Pro with a terabyte to 500 gigs, I'm noticing the difference.
Yeah.
I'm running out of space a lot more often. And, games are so big, it's like if you want to swap around, it takes a while to like reinstall some game that you got rid of a month ago because it's like 80 gigs or whatever. So.
Yeah, all I basically do is keep the games that I play the most on the SSD, and then everything else is on the external storage. So I get those faster load times for the games I really, really like.
This will allow for external SSDs too, though, right?
Internal SSD.
You put an internal SSD in.
Yes, you'll be able to open it up. If you remember that breakdown video, they like show the spot where it is.
Pop off the shell, yeah. Okay, cool.
Genetic Blasphemy actually has a nice PSA in the chat. He says you can delete Hitman 1 and 2 after you've loaded the levels into Hitman 3.
Yes.
I definitely know a few people that I had to tell that to, and now they have plenty more room on their hard drive. So
this guy over here.
Don't forget that.
I did not realize that.
You were one of them. Craziness.
I was,
I'm 100% the guy that's like constantly just like deleting stuff. I mean, like, am I going to play this again anytime soon? No. Okay, it's off. I did that for the entire PS4 generation, PS4 and Pro. I was just like delete. And the thing is like so far it's okay because PSVR games tend to be on the smaller side. They don't tend to be like big AAA like 50 gig games for the most part. So I can usually have like a ton of games on my hard drive. But then, as we get closer and closer to PSVR 2 territory, I feel like that extra space is going to become extremely necessary. Kyle's wondering if Dread Halls is on your SSD, AJ.
That's a good question. I don't think it is anymore.
Fuck your arcade.
That's for real. Fuck Dread Halls. All right. So in other news, guys, the first PSVR game is getting its. Wait, no, I don't know how to say this correctly. A PSVR game is becoming the first to get a movie adaptation. Mm-hmm. Exciting. And it's a horror movie, Brian. Well, it's okay. Okay, it's a horror comedy.
Yeah,
so I know that.
That is like horror goes down here, and then comedy goes down here, and then I go, I don't really feel like seeing this.
And that
great, from what I've heard,
that game is Werewolves Within.
Yes. So if you guys don't know, this is a social deduction game that came out a very long time ago, but it's still fun. Although I think it's busted these days. The matchmaking is messed up or something. I heard.
That's a shame.
But so basically you sit in a circle, somebody or a few people are werewolves. You don't know who's who, and you got to deduce it by talking, and that's the whole thing. The movie kind of extrapolates that into, like a comedy horror thing where there's something going on in this town. Nobody knows who's up to it, and they kind of got to band together with this group of misfits in a Vermont town to like figure out what's going on. It's got Milana Weintraub in it too. Some of you guys know who I'm talking about.
I have no idea who that is.
The AT&T lady. You guys know the AT&T lady?
Yeah.
There's this whole thing on the internet where everyone's like, "Oh, she's so cute," and people are like talking about how their girlfriends are upset that they know the name of the AT&T lady in the commercial. They're like, "Why do you know her name?" You know what I mean? There's a whole thing about it, but yeah,
I'm going to throw the image that they're using, the promo image here up on the screen. This makes it look like such a Clue movie, such a little Goonies mixed in there. It just has like that.
They talk about Clue in all the PR material.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just one of those. It just has the feeling like of a late '80s.
This came from late '80s. Yeah, it does. Their attire and stuff.
The VR Slayer's back. VR Slayer 420 with another $50 donation. Jesus, dude, thank you so much. I feel like I need to like put on a mask and come give you a hug. Writes, but much love and can't wait to play Alvo with you guys. Hashtag Alvo Army Beta is amazing. Yep, it is. It keeps getting better too. And the game is looking good. Can't wait to play and stream 3/4 of the way to 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours. Journey is fun. Oh, totally. Yeah, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of view time to be able to like monetize your channel, right? So that must be what he's doing over there.
Nice,
dude. Fucking Alvo, yeah, man. Like the Alvo community is amazing. Like that is such a hardcore, amazing community, and they are like super dedicated to playing the crap out of that game. Some of the beta players have hundreds of hours into that thing. Really, really amazing. So if you get an Alvo key, then awesome. Make sure you go check it out. But if not, you know, you should be excited for release, man. It should be coming up in the next month or two.
Yeah,
it's getting close. I need to check the last update too. There's been an update. Last time I played it, they had added a lot of stuff to it that I was really impressed with. So can't wait to keep following and see how it progresses still.
Yeah, I saw Steve asking people in his Discord. If you don't follow the Alvo Discord, make sure you do that. That's where you can get like your opinions heard. Steve over there is really, really like listening to the community, like listening to all the feedback, and he was even asking, he's like, "What do you guys think this needs before we ship it?" And everyone was like, "Oh, we need to be able to chat in the map select screen." And he was like, "Yes, absolutely, I totally agree. Let's make that happen." It was just this immediate kind of feedback that was. I just love watching that. I love developers that pay attention, and they're doing that.
Yeah.
So, real quick, a couple tidbits I noted in this thing that are interesting to me. The writer of this movie says that her favorite director is John Carpenter, and that comes up in a lot of the materials. So that, for me, is a good sign, a very good sign. It also just recently got picked up by IFC Films, so it's going to be distributed in North America by them. It's bought and paid for, so it's coming. I mean, it's not going to get stuck in development hell or anything at this point. I think we'll see this within a year or two. So, looks cool. I'm into it.
Yeah.
As a side note, it's going to be unfortunate that we can't get it from PS5 because Bryan, they are removing the movies and TV services.
This is bullshit. This is such bullshit. Like, here I am thinking we're in the beta phase of PlayStation 5, and it's just like they haven't gotten around to implementing that part of the story yet. And then they come out with this announcement that they're like, "Oh, by the way, you can get your movies someplace else, Bryan." And I was like, "But I want to get them from you. I want them all to be in my PlayStation ecosystem. That's where I live and breathe." And now it's like I've got all these movies that I've purchased on sale over the course of the last. I mean, since the PS3 era, guys.
Can you still access them somehow?
I can, but now it's this like isolated little island in my life where it's like I'm never going to be adding to that the digital collection over there. It's like, I bought that back when PlayStation still sold movies. Crazy. I need to go. Let's switch apps and go over there. And now it's like I got to figure out who my new hub is for this kind of stuff. Obviously, Amazon. Amazon is everything.
To be fair,
else in my life. No, not to be fair. No,
to be fair, Bryan.
No, fuck PlayStation. No apologizing for them. Nope.
He's the only guy.
And three other people are very upset about this. Nobody else.
Did you read the comments? Did you read the comments on that article in the blog?
No.
I found the 8 other people that are there with me.
8 other people.
There's like 8 of them. Look. It's going to be okay.
It's not.
All 8 of you are going to be fine.
You
know why? You know why, Bryan? It's going to be okay? Because when PSVR 2 comes out, you're going to have a movie theater app, either big screen or something else, and you'll be able to watch it with your friends. It'll be back.
Although Sony will not allow you to watch a movie that you bought with your friends unless they pay for it. I guarantee you $20.
Yeah, I'm sure absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. You gotta pay the toll. Pay the piper.
Nick Mulo in the chat says, but there's dozens of us.
Yeah.
120 million PlayStation gamers, and I mean, literally, I'm one of 20 people that use that store.
But final thoughts on this. Yeah, there's this came from bloodydisgusting.com, and they say in the film, shenanigans ensue when a massive blizzard isolates a small Vermont town, causing simmering resentments to boil over as oddball townspeople are one by one picked off by a mysterious creature. So Looking forward to that. Going to be coming out, I think, later this year. But really cool that a PSVR game is getting a movie adaptation. I know it was also a board game, but they licensed it from the PSVR game.
Yeah.
Get some.
Yeah, go check out the article if you can find the article. It's really interesting. A lot of cool stuff about the writer and the director. And, Ubisoft sent her a stack of games, and she picked this one. She said, this is the movie I want to make.
Was it the Bloody Disgusting article? Because I've actually got that up.
I think it might be, yeah. I read two of them. I read two separate ones.
I'll put it
in
the chat.
Oh, God, Tree Guy's coming back out.
Please and thank you. Okay.
Help.
The VR Slayer 420 is back again with a $50 donation. Dude, it's like the last time I said I should come over there and give you a hug. Now I feel like I should come give you something like...
You basically paid for the plane ticket.
Yeah, it says, come on, everyone. There's 77 likes and 240 watching. Let's get those likes up for these guys. They deserve it. That's insane.
That.
Also, thank you for watching, you guys. But dude, thank you so much. This is like super crazy generous, over the top. But hey, man, keeping the lights on. I fucking love you, and I really appreciate it. We also don't want to forget Professor Lilith with the $3 donation. It says, Game Cat forever with banana controller. I can't believe I deciphered it.
Yes,
it's like
remix that with Panorama Pajama.
In thousands of years, people will see these hieroglyphs and they'll be like, what were they talking about? And we will have been talking about playing VR games with bananas. And they'll be like, really? That's what they did back then?
Yeah.
Dan Keeper says, Bryan, get out the love sense.
Let me just plug that in. Let me turn the camera off for a second.
He even spelled it right, too.
All right, guys. Enough tomfoolery. Serious faces, because yesterday, a day of new game announcements for PlayStation VR came upon us from the PlayStation blog, and Gillen McAllister, the Senior Specialist Content Communications, SIE, said PSVR Spotlight, which focuses on upcoming games for PlayStation VR, returns yesterday. Unlike last time, we won't be making you wait too long to find out what the reveals are. All of the announcements will be dropping throughout the day, every half hour, in fact, and boy, did they. Every 30 minutes, guys, they dropped a new announcement on us, starting with, let's go, Doom 3 VR Edition for PSVR, guys.
Hell yes. Aim support. No move support, which is fine, I suppose.
Yeah.
But DualShock and aim, that'll be fun. I mean, this is a totally different thing than Doom VFR. Totally different teams working on it. But I'm really excited for this because the team that is working on it is Archaeact, who has given us some good stuff before, and they know how to use the aim controller. Evasion was once they tweaked the trigger thing, it was a pretty good aim controller game. And I think, to get a license like this, to get the chance to do something like this, they must have shown some chops, So I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, real quick, before we continue with this conversation, I want to make sure we talk to, give a shout out to You Got Cold Yogurt with the $4 donation. Says, how did Witching Tower on PS4 look? Because on PS5, yeah, man, I mean, I think that game looked great already. I don't know if it has any PS5 enhancements, but man, it's a good looking game. I like Witching Tower. It's great. Yeah, I had that trailer up and running for like the first half of the show, so I guess that's where the question came from. Very short. I think like 3 or 4 hours or so, but it's and the combat's garbage. It's like total waggle, waggle, waggle. But it's but yeah, man, I definitely think, especially for the sale price, you need to pick that up. It's great. But dude, yeah, getting back to Doom and Archaeact, dude. Archaeact is Archaeact's crazy. Like, you mentioned Evasion, which is fantastic. It shows that they really know how to make an aim controller game. But even more so, like, they know how to make an immersive game. They did Freediver Triton Down. And and just like swimming around those environments and grabbing onto the rocks and like pulling yourself through, and just all of the very immersive things that game had to offer. You'd like actually take an axe and like chop a lock off of a locked door and stuff, like, or chop it through a window to shatter it so you could swim to another area. Like, it was, these guys know immersion and know how to make things in VR look and feel very cool. So I always felt like that they were one of these studios that knew what they were doing, but they were too small and never had a big enough budget to really show their true potential. They never get to flex their muscles. And I think now it's like they're like, oh, we got Doom 3. Now they really get to show what they're made of, and I'm really proud of these guys. Very excited for them.
It's weird timing though, because Doom 3 on Quest, the Dr. Beef hack, is working as of like a month ago, and this comes out almost on the heels of that. Like, oh, you can play Doom 3 on your Quest now and full motion tracking and stuff. And then they drop, hey, we got Doom 3 coming, legit, official, remastered, updated aim support, ready to go. So that's huge.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, Bryan. Archaeac, I couldn't agree more. First of all, Archaeac, everything they have touched, I have typically liked. Keep in mind, they've done more than just develop games, but they've also published stuff like Blasters of the Universe. I had a bunch in my head, and of course now I'm trying to say it. I can't remember. I think they had their hands on Archangel and stuff. So everything they've really touched has usually been pretty polished and fun. However, when you mention like them knowing VR immersion and stuff, I completely agree. Except for one little tiny detail here, there is no move support, like you said. There is confirmed DualShock 4 and aim controller. So I think in terms of immersion stuff and those kinds of features, I don't know if I'm expecting like a whole big, interactive kinds of things using the DualShock and the aim controller. I think those are more about just shooting.
I think you're right, because just having played the Quest one, with that, there are a lot of panels you interact with in the game. In the original Doom 3, I mean, just stuff you walk up to and you'd hit a button.
Right.
But they made it so you'd reach your arm out and press the thing. But really beyond that, there wasn't much VR interactivity. And that's the only thing that I can see from the gameplay besides shooting that you would need to use your arms for. Maybe like climbing ladders and stuff like that. But it was really just walking up and putting your hand on a panel, which I won't miss that too much if I got the aim controller in my hands. Like, I'm good with that trade-off.
That is definitely a trade-off, and it's always been a trade-off. And I'm actually happy with that trade-off. The one thing that they mentioned in the PlayStation blog was how the weapons are mounted with flashlights, and I mean, and that is one of my favorite things, especially in like any dark VR game, or especially a horror themed game like this. Having that flashlight mounted on your weapon is just so critical, man. It's like walking through these corridors, and I gotta be honest, I haven't played this game. I mean, almost since it came out. I've played the first hour of it a couple times since it came out, but not really the full game. So a lot of this is going to be a surprise to me all over again. I just played Resident Evil 2 on PS1 for the first time in 25 years, and that was like playing a brand new game. And this is going to be the exact same thing for me. So I'm really excited to be creeping through these hallways with a flashlight on my weapon and just like peering around corners and stuff. Like, I'm so ready for this. I'm so ready.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, when you bring up Resident Evil, the vibe is way closer to a Resident Evil than it is to a typical Doom game. Like, it's not the jumping fast, run and gun, shoot everything. It's like creeping down hallways, like you said, where you need that flashlight that's your only source of light in the whole place, right? Really cool horror vibes, though. I think this is a good one of the Doom games to make VR.
Yeah.
Like, probably the most interesting one to make VR.
I agree. It's a solid fit for VR. And one thing I am super looking forward to is using the aim with a chainsaw. How cool is that going to be? Just like, that's going to be freaking awesome. But yeah, this one, it's not the scariest game I've ever played. I played it when they did the HD remaster on PS3. Is the last time I checked it out. So, still like maybe around almost 10 years ago. But I'm pretty fresh with it overall. And and it's a really good game. This also comes with the 2 packs of DLC, which I don't even remember existing.
Yeah, same.
Right, I know I didn't play any of the DLC back in the day, so that's all brand new to me. And they're saying this is like a 15-hour game with all the DLC. So I mean, this is what we've been asking for, man. This is like, I've said it multiple times on the show that we don't have any, like, there's a couple quality FPS games, right? A couple, and then we get this aim controller that's so perfect for VR first-person shooters. And then finally we get it full length, 15-hour game, all the DLC, horror theme. I mean, it just has my name stamped all over. I get to use the aim. And just a heads up, in case you guys didn't know, Archaeac was telling people on their Twitter that it is coming physically as well. So it's a digital release and a physical release. So if you're a physical person, then make sure you keep an eye out for that. March 29th, guys.
I can't believe I'm doing this again, Bryan, but look at this.
I know. This is the 4th time the VR Slayer 420 has tipped us another $50, guys. This is like some groundbreaking shit right here. Definitely going to be able to pay the mortgage this month. Thank you so much for the donation. He says, but I'm out, boys. Much love. Going to live stream now. I hope The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners gets new maps on the trial and maybe more waves. LOL. But hope you guys have a great night. Hope you do too, man. Good luck with your channel. I hope you make it to that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours ASAP, so you can click that monetize button and start making some of this money back that you just gave us. Really appreciate it, though. Thank you so much, man. Have fun with your game tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
Saints and Sinners rocks.
Half of our subscribers just went, boom, we're going to go watch him play Saints and Sinners instead.
Last thing on Doom, probably before we move on. Seymour Gamecat says, I hope the aim controller works better than on Doom VFR. That came up with these devs on Reddit, actually. They were really responsive on the Reddit thread. And they said, we're actually not really familiar with what you mean, but we're a totally different team. It's a totally different implementation. Yeah. This is like our thing, and it's not going to have those issues you're worried about. And lefty support they confirmed as well, because they never came around with that in Doom VFR. They were like, yeah, definitely, obviously, day one. So
I couldn't play Doom VFR with the aim controller because of that little hand sticking out of your face. It killed me. Yeah, and that's why I was really happy to see, because I don't think this is going to be the case with this game. And so, yeah, that's, I wish they would have updated the game VFR to remove that, because I just couldn't do it. It was just too annoying and immersion breaking. And this is something we probably don't have to worry about. Guys, this is, again, we mentioned the horror in this game. I think that's what is a big deal with this. I think that's why it's one of the better fits for VR. Doom is really fun with the fast-paced action and stuff. But I'm really interested to see, there's a lot of jump scares in this game. And I can't wait to see some of the, people's reactions to that.
Void Citizen, says, yeah, fuck that arm.
Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's, dude, I mean, not to harp on and on about VFR or anything, but it's so crazy. Each control scheme had I think the DualShock 4 was fine. I don't think anyone had any complaints about that, right?
That was my favorite one to play with, honestly, because I love head tracking to aim. It's so precise.
But the aim had the mounted rocket launcher, right? And
once you unlock the grenade launcher, I think you have that permanently affixed to your face.
Right, and then you
even though your aim
hand
is over here.
And then the move controllers, for whatever reason, for a game that supported full locomotion with other controllers, there was no option for that with the move controllers. So it's like they were almost there so many times. So it's great to put this in the hands of a developer that
Yeah. And we don't know the answer to Steve IRE's question, but it's a good question. How did this get made, pretty much? Because John Carmack was involved in a lawsuit with ZeniMax over this. This was going to be when the original Rift came out. Doom 3 VR was a big part of their marketing. They were saying, we're going to have Doom 3 in VR, as a launch title. And then it just quietly disappeared, even though John Carmack was involved with Oculus and all that. So I am curious where the fuck this came from, because it was going to happen on Oculus, and now it's a Sony thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I didn't hear about any announcements that they were bringing to any other platform other than PSVR. So
I didn't see any.
So Sony's got their hands in everything, man. Sony's a huge corporation, and they talk to a lot of people, and they have a lot of good relationships with a lot of different developers. So I mean, if there was a team that could make this happen, I'm sure the people over at Sony did what they had to do to make it happen. So.
Oh yeah.
So I'm assuming Sony paid for this.
Probably. I wonder if Archaeact is under their wing, if Archaeact is kind of unofficially a Sony studio. I
don't know. It's but this is just it's a reminder that Sony, just because you're not seeing first party games come from Sony, and you're not seeing them bring Uncharted out or Resistance games out to PSVR, they are quietly behind the scenes making a lot of this happen, and you're going to see this over and over and over, actually, throughout the course of even this episode, and definitely throughout the course of the year. So if you ever think that Sony's given up on PSVR, Twitcher, I know I'm crazy, man. I know I'm crazy, Twitcher. Yeah, they're not giving it up. They're not giving up on anything.
Yeah, we can firmly put that to bed. Yeah. That whole theory.
Definitely some people that were a little disappointed by Doom VFR. And the thing is, I think it's a good game, especially the more I played it and ramping up the difficulty. But they definitely missed some of their missed the mark on a couple things, and when it comes to immersion or control schemes, just little different immersion breaking things. But this I would have loved Doom 2016 over Doom VFR, because they made some puzzles into it and stuff. So this makes me really happy, because this is just straight up Doom 3 remade into VR. So I know what I'm getting here, and it's not going to be a shorter experience. They said this game is going to be up to 15 hours long.
Yeah, this is fantastic news, man. And like,
Yeah.
it's so funny whenever somebody says something good about this game, they always apologize in the same breath. They say, "Oh, I'm probably the only person that thinks this," or "I know I'm in the minority of Doom fans," and blah blah blah. I'm like, you know what? Screw. I'm so sick of people apologizing for this game, saying it's not a true Doom game or blah blah blah. This is. I've played a bunch of Doom games, and I played Doom 1, 2, and 3, and then like I've tasted a little bit of Doom 2016, and man, and I didn't play Doom Eternal, so just keep that in mind. But like, this is my favorite one, and obviously because it's got the horror slant to it. I don't care if it's Doom-like or not. This is my favorite Doom game, and it's about to be one of my favorite PSVR games. I can guarantee you that. It's close, guys. It's so close. I keep forgetting that we're already in March. It's coming out.
Yeah.
It's March 29th, man. It's like 20
this month.
4
Yeah.
days.
Wow.
25 days away.
That's about as close to one of those "and it's out now" reveals that we could have gotten. Like this month, Doom 3 is big. Like that, they were holding that in their pocket to drop, I think.
And dude, and this just proves how secretive Sony can be.
Yeah.
Right?
People have speculations that they're not doing anything because they haven't said anything, but they're not going to say anything until they drop a huge load of
no leaks, man. There were no leaks
like,
about this. How did that happen?
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah.
Well, I think also we should hit these tips real quick and probably move on from Doom.
Oh, I want the first one because it comes from iCarly. I know you'll see somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful. The Game Cat with a $5 donation. I feel bad. I didn't sing for Slayer Cat 420. Ever since I heard about modern VR tech, my first thought was of playing Doom 3. It's a game that made me love horror. That's fantastic news, and I love that you've changed your profile pic to Miranda Cosgrove. Everything about this makes me so happy. So, you know how many subscribers we just lost? Thank you so much, iCarly, the Game Guy. I totally agree with you. Horror is awesome. Acefield, the Attack Cat, rare with the $5 donation, says, listening to the GAMESCAST and AJ's Saturday streams while reading the chat is at the top of my favorite weekly activities. Hashtag GameCat Army, rare. Hashtag swipe, rare. Dude, I agree with you. I watch back. If I try to listen back to these shows, I'm like, they're fun to listen to. I don't do it anymore because it's just they get so long and whatever. And I was already here for them. But man, when I go back and do watch these things, the award show, anything that we do live, the chat is so much fun.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like reading along with the chat is so much fun. And
I love to go back and read the chat sometimes. Absolutely. Yeah. Often.
Like in my book, you guys are like, I was gonna say the other quarter of the show, but no, you're like half of the show. Like we're half of it and you're the other half.
Yeah,
and I love how this works back and forth so much. Thank you for being
here. I
here.
spend like all of my time ignoring you guys and looking at the chat.
I know. Stop it.
Of my time.
Also, if you didn't watch, if you haven't been watching the recent episodes of Why We Love, we've been having guests on. We had Creeper Betty on. We had Aceville on. We had somebody fill me in. We had original Uberbitch, the bearded game cat.
I was about to fill you in, but I knew you'd remember. Man,
my brain is fried right now. I apologize. But man, it's like, we've got cats out there, man. Like Aceville was amazing. All of the cats so far have been amazing. And we're just going to keep showcasing different game cats from the community every single fucking week. So, hey, let me know if you want to be on one of the shows. There's a long list. But, get your name in there. All right.
You guys okay? You guys okay with the motion control track? Can we not like try to bulldoze past this real quick?
Okay.
What's up?
I have one question for you. I don't know. You might have mentioned this already, so if so, we can move on. But I'm curious. You guys mentioned how you really like the face pointing stuff in Doom VFR. Or what do you think about this if it used motion controls in DualShock? Because that's what it sounds like.
I would rather it not. I would prefer if the DualShock implementation was head tracking or had the option to be head tracking, because I would actually play the game that way as well. Like I would enjoy playing it that way. So yeah, that's how they do it.
Okay. Yeah. I was curious to hear.
I want to hold my gun over here, aim, and then like look over here at the panel and tap the X button to activate it, and then go back
now,
to shooting
I will
over
say,
here.
In Evasion, that's not how they did it. With the DualShock, you had to point the thing, and actually it was tracking the light bar.
Oh, that's right.
So hopefully. Yeah. And there wasn't an option to use head tracking. But this is a bigger name game. I feel like they'll have more options. It'll be more fleshed out than their previous stuff because they got the budget and stuff.
More experience, for sure, too. So on top of it all. Yeah.
Tax refund. The hour of his judgment has come. GameCat says, I wonder if we will ever get to see Bryan in Kratos mode again. Bald with the thick beard. What do you think, Bryan?
I mean, it depends how more the hair falls out, man. It's like I feel like it's not so bad, man. I feel like I think everything's okay right now. But man, it's like, in like 5 more years, if like it all just falls out, then absolutely, man. So stick around and see if it happens.
You can call me boy if you want. Boy, what do you think about this next PSVR release?
That sounded like very pedophilic, and it made me very uncomfortable.
Have you watched? You haven't played the God of War game, then?
I know what you're referring to now. I didn't put the pieces together, man. It threw me for a loop. AJ, do you want to continue down this line of games, or do you? I feel like we skipped some fun Farpoint news.
I've got that on the list as well.
Okay, so like I said, I didn't look at the run of shows, so I'll go along for the ride. Let's do this.
I was gonna do it real quick, but we have also Baggio 10 asked about PS5 patch. There's no mention of that, so we don't know exactly yet. Probably not. But Alkanoth Zuluith. With the $5 donation says, I have Doom 1 through 3 on Oculus Quest. Have you guys tried it on Quest? I assume it's going to work the same, but stoked for aim support. And yes, I want original. I have not.
I haven't either. David?
Oh, sorry. I'm responding to this tip. Oh, I could just do it with my voice after.
You could, yeah.
Talk about it. Okay,
100%.
Fair enough. Totally. So, go ahead.
We're asking, did you play Doom 1 through 3 on Oculus Quest?
Oh, so now we're doing that. Yes.
That is the question.
I did try it on Quest. It isn't going to work the same because, as I said earlier, this is an official release. This is upgraded. This is like a legitimate port. So those ones are really just like hard, brute forcing the code into VR from a really old PC game. This is designed from the ground up to be a VR game.
Right.
And so it's going to be a lot more smooth of an experience. And, without the motion interactions, we won't lose that much, I don't think. But that is one key difference, I guess, between the versions. So,
Thank you so much for your support, Alkanoth. What a great name.
All right, gents.
Zuluith? Alkanoth Zuluith.
March 29th. This month, physical edition later. Super exciting. Now, I think I'm ready, guys. I think I'm ready to talk about the next game that was announced.
I'm so excited.
Called Song in the Smoke. Mm-hmm. By 17-bit.
Okay, can we take this from initial reactions? I want to tell you right now, when this thing popped up, and obviously we're sitting there on, was this Tuesday? I think this was Tuesday, right? Tuesday morning, and I'm sitting there like refreshing the page, and like because we know every half hour on the hour we're going to get a new announcement.
It was Wednesday.
I think it was yesterday.
It was yesterday, Brian.
Wait,
we've all lost track of time.
Was it really yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Oh my god, I'm literally losing my mind.
What is a day?
Okay, holy crap, man! This feels like 3 days ago because it's like there's just been so much. It's so like I was sitting there refreshing the page, going, I mean, how can they top? Like we knew the last time they did this to us. I think they did it every hour last time. The last time they had a PSVR spotlight, they gave us a new announcement every hour, and they started with something amazing, and then it's just like tumbled downhill the whole day, and it was like, oh wow, that was like really unimpressive. So there was a little voice in the back of my head that was going, Brian, you're excited, you're hitting F5, like you can't wait to see what the next announcement is, but like keep your expectations in check. Like Doom 3 was probably the only good one here. And so when this popped up and I saw the name Song in the Smoke, and I was like, okay, I was immediately like a little downtrodden from like the name alone, and then I start watching the trailer, and it's like, okay, those first few seconds when you paired it all together, I was like, oh man, this kind of looks like again, the first few seconds, I was like, this looks like a pretty low budget thing, and it's got like this name that no one's going to care about, and this is like, and for a brief second, I was like, this might be a throwaway thing. And holy shit, this is my new most anticipated game of the year. I cannot wait. Oh, I can't wait to play this.
Really?
Not to jump ahead, I'm all in for Fracked. I'm a Fracked guy over here.
It looks great. I can't wait to play it. This is mine.
And I used to talk shit about End Dreams all day because they released some games that I did not like. Perfect was the one. Anyways, but yeah, this looks really good. I mean,
they released a lot of good games after that.
Shooty Fruity was good.
I like Shooty Fruity, but I never forgave them for Perfect.
Like I want my $9.99 back.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm so happy to be wrong. So happy to be wrong. Can we take a minute and read through this blog post? I mean, I don't want to read through all the blog posts. It's just this one, because, dude, the guys, whoever wrote this, and I'm gonna give you that person's name in just a second here.
Rich McCormick.
Thank you very much. You beat me to it. Here we go. I didn't have it brought up, but I will have it.
The sun is setting.
So Rich
tree casting long shadows across the forest. My fire is fading too. It's like flickering in the gloom. From the bushes I hear a growl, low and hungry. I have one question. How do I survive the night? You guys can take it from me.
It says, his song in the most beautiful world is beautiful, yet a deadly one. But fortunately, it also gives the player a range of options to keep themselves alive for another day. I cycle through them quickly as the monster in the bushes comes closer. Now, see, I just love this writing style because he's writing it in the present tense, and so it feels more impactful. And he's writing it as if it's like somehow like voiceovers, like a voiced over journal or something like that.
But there's a little bit of a PR guy in there too, because it says "Song in the Smoke's world is a beautiful yet deadly one," which is not a thing that he would think to himself. He's not like, I'm in the world of this video game named "Song in the Smoke."
Right.
But on, it's more first person, and he sticks with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is so well written. That's why I wanted to read this to you guys. I could craft a stronger weapon. I have a tree branch, and I could take my knife to it or carve it down to the perfect shape for a new bow before stringing it with sinew that I dried yesterday. Or should I break the wood, snapping it in two with the motion of my hands before burning it for vital warmth, hoping that the flames last all night and keep whatever is stalking me at bay? Or I could turn the tables by trying to hunt whatever's hunting me. I could hide from the beast and then find it by tracking its scent and following its footprints, taking the time to crouch and sharpen my senses in the cover of the long grass before lining up a shot with my bow and losing an arrow into its heart. Or maybe I should explore. I'm just reading here. I'm not making this up on the spot. I don't know why I'm stumbling so much. Or maybe I should explore, try to find a new camping spot before the sun goes down. I saw a strange green glow on top of the cliff yesterday, but night was closing in, and I needed to get back to the warmth of my fire. There's still some daylight. I could climb that rock face and uncover its mysteries, taking a torch to light my way and scare off the beasts of the night. It actually goes on for like a while longer, but like that's.
Can I jump ahead a little bit? Because there's a few more ones that are written in that style that are kind of interesting. Like this section is titled "Are You Afraid of the Dark?"
Ooh,
and he says,
"Great show.
When I'm feeling braver, I can capture some of that fire with a torch and venture out into the dark." Now, like you said, I love how they're describing the mechanics in a first-person way, embodied like you're the player, like doing this. Really cool. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but
I'm going to agree with, for the first time ever, I'm going to agree with Twitcher, the single-player game cat. And it is funny that they did this whole in-depth like storytelling thing. I highly recommend if go reading this in the PlayStation blog. But what he could have said, which I agree with Twitcher here, says looks a lot like The Forest, but with saber-toothed tigers and shit.
And
I think that's a perfect way to summarize it.
The only thing worth noting is The Forest is a multiplayer game, right? Mm-hmm. And this is a single-player game,
right?
Yeah, we've been begging for The Forest, and so it's actually really good to see that like somebody like took that idea and like just made it from the ground up for VR.
Yeah, I'm wondering how roguelike-y this is, too. Like, is it a straight story that you could fail and start over again and eventually beat that's always the same? Or is it, like, different every single time you play? From scrolling through this, I haven't seen that yet, but...
It's a good question because there are games out there like Island Time VR. Island Time VR is obviously, like it's like a rapid-paced survival game. Like, you're standing in one spot on an island, and like you were trying to survive with all the things that come your way, lighting things on fire and blah blah blah, cooking and doing your thing. And like your first game lasts 30 seconds, and then you're the last game you ever play lasts 15 minutes or 20 minutes or something. So I'm getting the impression though that this is more of like you're going to be playing this for hours at a time sort of thing. It's less like that. I don't know though.
So I'm going back to revisit their previous game, Galaxy, which I did play, but I didn't have I couldn't remember if it's a roguelike or how it worked or whatever. But one of these things says, from the Polygon review, they say there are 1,000 little points of tension between the die and restart loop. And that's what helps Galaxy stand above the best roguelikes ever created. So I think there's a good chance that this will have that die and restart loop, and you just get better at it as you go and eventually can progress more, which I'm excited about. That's cooler to me than like a standard progression kind of game.
I feel like we've just had a lot of roguelikes and roguelites on PSVR, like in-depth persistence until you fall. It's just been like a bunch of like, and I love all of them. Like I love all of those games. But so I was hoping for something like that was a little bit more meaty. That like I feel after 3 hours I would look around and be like, look, I have a hut. I have a little hut and it's protected with an electric fence. I know, you know what I'm saying. Like it's.
You'd probably be able to do that, but then you might still get killed by a tiger and have to start over again.
Right. So that'll be a mechanic that I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Like because I'm kind of cool either way, I guess, as long as it's fun.
Yep.
I wonder how many people are going to play this and be like, I have made fire. Yeah, but dude, Survival, the Solus project, you guys, is, as you know, one of my favorite games ever. And VR was the first time that I really got into this whole thing of having to eat and having to sleep and having to build fires when you're cold. And that shit's fun, man. Like, it's so much better than, I don't know why I never liked it before. But that stuff is awesome. And, one of the things with this game, with a lot of the games that were shown, is that there's a lot of VR AF stuff where it's like, banging rocks together to sharpen them or crafting, not opening up an inventory and crafting something, but actually physically like doing some kind of motion to craft. And I think that's going to help add to the immersion. There's also 3 different locations, at least. There's they talk about the forest, which looks beautiful. Then there's plateaus, and then there's like an icy tundra that he mentions in the blog post. So probably not like a ton of variety, but like solid different locations to travel through as you experience the story.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat did ask if this was open world, and it is open world. That was definitely one of the things that they said. There's oh wait, actually, you know what? I'm actually looking at the wrong. I'm looking at the wrong game. I don't know if this is open world. I mean, it's got to be open area, right? There's locomotion and everything else. But
yeah, I think it will be. I mean, and you can, like I said, look at their past games, and Galaxy was open world and roguelike at the same time. This could easily be both again. Same thing.
The only thing I'm disappointed by is that we don't have a release window. It's just 2021.
Yeah.
And
this year is going to feel like it goes on forever, so it probably won't matter.
Yeah.
It's another one of those years, I think.
It's one of those years because
on my path so far.
It's one of those years because we're waiting for PlayStation VR 2. Like, the whole year is going to be just like, no matter how great the games are, because obviously it seems like we're just going to have tons and tons of great games to play this year. No matter how many great games are coming our way, like, I'm going to be really excited to play those. There's always going to be this thing in the back of my mind that goes, 12 more months till PlayStation VR 2. 11 more months till PlayStation VR 2. It's like, yes, I'm so excited for these games, but like, I'm so excited for the future, man. So.
Yeah.
Some big games, man. So any final thoughts on this game? Your most anticipated, Brian. That is surprising. That is, that's awesome. I think it looks great. And I finally, after 24 hours, can remember the name for once. I wasn't, I liked the name, but I was really not a fan of the name because I was like I couldn't remember it. But
I watched your interactive stream, and I think you said it wrong like 20 times.
Couldn't get it right.
To remember.
Not
Song
the
in
most
Song in the Smoke. Song in the Smoke. Just got it.
But I like it though.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I think I say it's the one I'm most anticipating. But I think it's because I already know what to expect from Doom. This is a brand new game, and we've said before, we've talked to a bunch of developers, and when we were talking to the dude, I shouldn't even bring this up because I forgot his name. I'm not even gonna say it. But like, a lot of developers have said, like, let's not like be looking at porting flat screen games into VR. Like, that's not going to push the medium forward. That's not exciting. Like, let's make things from the ground up. Let's make things feel VR and VR. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that completely. But these are 2 games right here that say, like, Doom 3 is like, yes, this is a great example of something that we desperately need in VR. And then following up with a Song in the Smoke, or Song in the Smoke, is a great example of the other side of it. So I'm glad that developers are taking both routes toward getting us more VR games. Lost in Blue.
Sorry,
great reference.
My neighbor's like banging on something really loudly over there. Okay,
yeah, Survival Kids, Lost in Blue. There's been so many good survival games over the years, man. And I've always been like had a passing interest. Don't Starve, I think, is the first one I ever spent like hours and hours and hours and hours with.
Darkwing Chuck says Upload VR says Song is supposed to come out in the spring.
Oh.
So Song of the Smoke in spring. Lots of S's, easy to remember.
Sure.
So that could be good. Okay.
Awesome.
What do we got next, AJ?
Oh man. Next we got what seemed to be, probably besides Doom, the one that really got a lot of people's attention, and that is End Dream's latest title, called Fracked.
That is exciting stuff. As soon as I saw the skis come out, I hadn't even watched the trailer. I was looking through the blog post, and I saw the GIF with the skis, And I was like, I want this game now. I want this game fucking immediately.
Should skis, guns, and like what, pickaxe or something?
Well, I mean, we've been wanting like some kind of snow sport kind of locomotion game, and we've had a couple like the ski jump, and shit like that just like doesn't scratch the itch at all. And Dream Borders is awesome, but like this is a full AAA, not AAA, double A. I don't know where they're at, but it's a polished, budgeted game that looks like a lot of fun to me. All the locomotion styles look super cool, and just colorful, fun-looking gunplay. I don't know what else to say. It looks awesome. This is my most exciting.
Read from the blog. Talk about another awesome blog post here. Yeah. Steve goes on to say stuff like how he's frustrated about the limitations of designing some VR games, how he's really sick of games where you stay in place. And so that was the big idea behind this one. There's so many influences on this game. I mean, obviously it's just supposed to be some kind of like action-packed adventure, but he mentions Die Hard and Cliffhanger and RoboCop. And I'm like, okay, you're speaking my language, at least with Die Hard and RoboCop. But I get the Cliffhanger reference as well. But yeah, skiing, full locomotion. There's a unique cover system here as well. There's shooting and climbing and stuff. So lots of really cool. He says it's fast, exhilarating, and accessible.
AJ, can you pull out that part where he talks about how we're not trying to be subtle with this game, and like there are some social commentaries and stuff. Like there's a whole section of it where he's like, listen guys, we're going big and brash, and this is going to be a loud, fun game that also has some thought behind it and stuff like that.
This is unashamedly true, a true VR game only possible with PS Move controllers. Climbing, zip lining, reloading, and in-world interactions are all driven one-to-one by the player's hands. We couldn't do this using a traditional gamepad. Skiing requires you to physically lean and steer to control. As with the rest of the game is integrated with the combat. We'll be showing this more weeks ahead. They talk about the combat being run and cover versus run and gun, because it's like, quickly getting undercover. Maximize VR's 360 potential in their free movement, designed with the arena style combat and encounters, and they doubled down on verticality. And then, he basically says...
can I do the part that I wanted to say? So he says, you mentioned Die Hard and Cliffhanger, but he says, while we've aimed for a new stylish take on classic action cinema, below the surface there is a RoboCop-style cutting-edge satire about corporate greed and the climate change emergency. Obviously, Fracked wasn't chosen randomly. I mean, fracking is a big, issue with climate change stuff. And they say, if Paul Verhoeven made a VR game, which would be amazing, we don't think it would be a million miles away from Fracked. So if that's your style, if you like Starship Troopers or RoboCop or those kinds of takes on stuff, it looks like that's what they're going for, and that's awesome to me. That immediately, just like the John Carpenter thing with the Werewolves Within movie, I was like, okay, yep, sign me up, I'm good.
Yeah. Real quick shout out to Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat with the $5 tip, says, we need more ports to VR. There's nothing better than playing a game you loved in VR. Skyrim blew my mind. Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. I 100% think that's we need more people getting those ports into VR for sure. It's actually a shame it took this long for Doom 3 to get here.
In some way, I both agree and disagree. Like I'm all about really trying to bring new things to the table, but there is that there's such a long history of amazing games where you just can't help. But sometimes that nostalgia is what you need to have the connection. Be like, oh my God, I want to play my old favorite game now in VR. So I get it with that as well. But
I get both sides of it. Absolutely. But I don't think we're ever going to be sacrificing one in favor of another. I think some studios are just capable of doing, I don't think Archaeact, and I'm sure somebody at Archaeact can correct me if I'm wrong, if they were building that game from the ground up and being like, we're making our own first-person shooter that's 15 hours long, that has a horror slant, and it's going to use the aim control. If they would just decide to make their own IP that was similar to Doom, they were building it from the ground up, they just wouldn't be able to do it. They wouldn't have the backing for that. I don't know if their team is big enough to make that happen. They've been putting out these sort of smaller games for years, because that's sort of, I think, the extent of what they're able to do. But going back and taking assets from another game, it's so it's not. I don't feel like it's one or the other. In fact, I think we're going to be able to get much longer, bigger games from these studios that are able to go back and port these games into VR. And I think that's something we desperately need. It's where I've seen the comments so many times. People are like, I'm so sick of 3-hour games, 4-hour games, 5-hour games. Here's a 15-hour game. It's like fucking fantastic. And luckily, I never played the whole thing, or at least I don't remember playing the whole thing because I was drunk and don't remember shit. So absolutely, Donatello, I'm right there with you. But getting back to Fracked, it's crazy that we're like so exciting. We're so exciting. The three of us are really excited.
It's crazy.
The three of us. No, but we're really excited. And we've been really excited for Stride, right? Stride's coming up, and this is a game that's we've been seeing on PSVR, and
I played it.
We kind of right, and we got word that it was coming to PlayStation VR, and how it's coming to PlayStation VR. It seems like relatively soon, but yet the campaign, like the meat of the story, that stuff is not getting here till Q3, and this game's going to swoop in during summer, and it looks like it's going to deliver like maybe a bigger, better campaign than even Stride is capable of delivering.
It's going to be way, way bigger than Stride. And I mean, Stride, for the fun Mirror's Edge vibes and all that, like visually, it's not that stimulating after a few minutes. It's all just white shit. Really, it's just all white shit. Yeah. That's the whole thing. You're on a tall building, everything's really white, and you're jumping. And this looks like it has a lot of style to it. Like, it's really colorful, really visually engaging. And it's like, when you are so limited by your graphics and your art style with Stride, like it can't compete. I don't think it can compete.
Well, you got to take into account too that Stride is probably this team's first project, and Dreams has over the years been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So they're just a bigger, more experienced team. You got to give them a chance. You can't compare somebody that has all that experience to somebody that's brand new. But there is one last note on this game. They say the game is getting PS5 enhancements. Those playing on a PS5 can expect improved frame rates, load times, and resolution. For those playing on PS4 and PS4 Pro, never fear. It looks incredible and plays the same. PS5 enhancements, day one.
I like it.
I hope this is something we start
that ought to be
hearing
the
more
new
often.
standard. Yeah, that ought to be the new standard. I mean, Doom didn't mention that. I don't know if it'll need it because it's an old game. So like it probably can look really damn good on the, just like Wipeout could probably look really good on the OG and wouldn't even need a 5 enhancement.
Yeah, dude, on the original Xbox, we're talking PS2 era here. That game still looks great. You can plug that your OG Xbox in. It's like 480p or something like that. I forget how it renders, but I think it might be even be widescreen mode. It looked good for that. But man, it's nice. It's nice to see these developers talking about that kind of stuff, just to kind of know what we're in for.
Yeah, excellent. What do we got next, AJ?
Oh man, yeah, looking forward to this game. I don't think we got a release window, right? Summer.
Is it summer?
Yeah. Okay. All right. The next game. So next game was actually one that we kind of already knew about, but still a pretty cool game, and that is I Expect You to Die 2. The Spy and the Liar got its official announcement trailer and everything.
Yeah, the thing about this that I thought was strange was like, because when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's a slightly longer trailer than the one we saw before. It shows a little bit of gameplay, and then it said 2021 coming to PSVR, and I was like, okay, what was the news here? And then because I had failed to remember properly that when they teased this game a couple months back or whatever it was, that they didn't actually announce when it was coming or what platforms it was coming for. We just said, oh, it's obviously coming to PlayStation VR, and moved on. And so now they made the official announcement. And it's like, oh, okay, I didn't even realize that. I'd forgotten that wasn't a thing yet. You guys seen anything special about this trailer?
I mean, I liked the first game. I don't think I beat all the DLC and stuff. It's not really my favorite style of game, but it was so polished and it was so well done that, you can't sit through that intro of I Expect You to Die 1 and not be like, wow, this is an impressive product, So there's definitely going to be people out there who love this thing. But
those who like a really good sense of humor and puzzles and sense of humor combo, like people that like Portal, I noticed, are typically the ones that kind of gravitate towards this kind of game.
Yeah, I love this, man. Like, Shell Games just pumps out quality. And, as good as the first game was, what really made it special was how much they supported it with all that DLC. They gave us 3 huge pieces of DLC, all for free. They certainly could have charged just like, I don't know, $5 for a couple of those, but they didn't, and that just proves, that these guys are really dedicated to their game and just like want to keep expanding on it and stuff. And I think at a certain point, that's what happened with I Expect You to Die. They were like had all this DLC, and they were like, we gotta start charging for this at some point. Like let's start with a new platform, and so hopefully that fostered a lot of good positivity and a great community, and people that like the first one will pick this up, knowing full well that they're going to keep supporting it. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Cool. But overall, I think of all the games that they showed, I think everyone was like, okay, for this one. Not that it's not going to be awesome, just that like they didn't really show us a ton of new stuff that we were like, oh wow, look what you're going to be able to do in the sequel. It was just like, okay, it's more I Expect You to Die, and that's going to be great.
Yeah.
So is that when we move on to our next game?
I mean, there's not a lot to say about it. I think that,
yeah. There's not. It's that game kind of lets the gameplay and the game itself do the talking. It'll be fine. It's just not like an exciting, like blow you away announcement. Because we already knew about it, like you said. But one thing that I do kind of consider a pretty big blow you away announcement: the expansive JRPG inspired MMO Zenith VR is coming to PlayStation VR. They posted from Andy Sen, the CEO of Ramen VR. I've been following this game for a long time. We have been following this game for a very long time, almost 2 years now. So it was exciting to see the official announcement. And oh my God, you guys, I don't know about you, but I am fired up about this one.
I'm totally fired up about this. In fact, the only thing, I don't know why this keeps crossing my mind. Like, first of all, I want to go play Phantasy Star Online with you guys. Like, that's essentially what I want to do here.
Well, that's the thing that I was going to say. I love Phantasy Star Online. If this hits that note at all, same.
Yeah. But the thing that's gotten me like really excited was actually playing Swords of Gargantua, because Swords of Gargantua just throws you into that little room and says, you're waiting for some players to show up, and then you go tackle that dungeon together, right? And that was great. But every time I play that game, all I can think is, man, if there was just like a little village outside of this dungeon, if there was a little town like where other people hung out, and I could go into a weapon shop instead of staring at a menu screen, or I could buy potions, or I could buy this, or I could like have a little place to call my own or something, like where it's just like I felt like they didn't have to add too much outside of that dungeon, and then like be like, oh, and over here there's another dungeon, and so like Zenith kind of starts delivering on that hope of mine, or at least it seems to be delivering on that hope of mine.
It's got an interesting design too, because it's not exactly that sort of like fantasy Skyrim. It is a little more Phantasy Star. Like it's sci-fi cityscapes. Obviously there's supposed to be a trailer that's out in the world, but
was it supposed to be like Phantasy Star Online or Sword Art Online?
A lot of people said Sword Art Online. I've never seen that show, but I mean, it's great. Everyone, when VR came out, was like, "Oh my God, it's like Sword Art Online."
Yeah,
well, it's anime inspired, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would be shocked. Like, I mean, I know that when we first debuted this game on Without Parole, they had listed all of their influences, and it was a bunch of anime we were familiar with, a bunch of video games we were familiar with, and I'd be shocked.
Beat Saber and stuff. Yeah.
If Phantasy Star Online wasn't one of the games they had listed as one of their inspirations. Real quick, Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat with the $5 tip, says Zenith or Zenith. I say Zenith. I don't know why. I don't know the difference.
I'm gonna say Zenith.
Okay,
it's Zenith,
where you can get married like the dev did in Final Fantasy XIV. That is absolutely true. He that's the first opening paragraph about this game on the PlayStation blog. The dev who wrote about it said that he got married in Final Fantasy XIV.
One of my best friends, One of my best friends met his wife in EverQuest '98. But man, yeah, awesome story. But shoot, they showed off a little bit of the hub areas and stuff. They show like this beautiful looking like beach area, and like you got to imagine there's going to be just a bunch of people there, just sitting there trading, socializing and stuff. That looks like a really chill place to hang out. And then you meet up with your guild. I don't know, you guys don't. I don't think you said you played a lot of MMOs. Have you?
No.
I mean, Phantasy Star Online, I played the fuck out of. That's really the only one I can say that I spent a lot of time on. I think there was one called Ragnarok that was a PC, like a Korean free-to-play PC game that I played. Somebody in chat will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I used to play that. But
well, I'm a big fan of MMOs. Even though I haven't played a bunch of them, I really went deep into some of them. World of Warcraft comes to mind. And man, they are just, you get your guild together and, this is just something I have yet to experience. I've been dying for a JRPG, and to have a JRPG like in VR, that is just like mind blowing to me. The last one that I played the most of was Final Fantasy 14: A Realm Reborn, which was absolutely fantastic. JRPGs mesh really well with MMOs, in my opinion. And yeah, but I see they've already got these hub worlds, and then they've got places that you'll obviously be able to venture out. There's like boss battles, dungeons, most likely, that you get a group together. One person's healing. I always play as heals. That's always been my kind of go-to, is always the healer of the group. But you can get some badass builds and stuff. I'm really interested to see how deep that system goes.
Did you guys talk about the movement while I was tweeting?
No, real quick, guys. I think we might have missed K-Panic's tip.
So
he
sorry.
said we didn't shout him out. K-Panic, I'll give you the old tree guy for this one. Oh, that was a quick one.
Holy crap.
K-Panic 499 says, sorry, a bit late from work, gents, saying hi. And whoa, the exciting PSVR news. Absolutely, right? There's like so much of it.
Yeah, apologies for the delay on that. K-Panic, the long and girthy game cat.
Yeah, I forgot to read that part. Sorry.
Long and girthy.
I just somehow completely forgot to read that part.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you, man, and apologize for letting it slide by. So, guys, there was the movement system in this. I mean, they show a little bit in the trailer, like you kind of like fly down to an area at one point. But they say, with such a massive world, we also want to give you an unparalleled freedom of movement. In Zenith, you can climb anything. Use your hands to climb up the sides of skyscrapers or giant cliff faces, discovering secret areas and searching for hidden treasure. You have limited stamina, which increases as you explore the world, so you need to plan your ascent carefully. This is like some fucking Wind Waker shit. Not Wind Waker. This is some Breath of the Wild shit.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I told you, I'm not really with it today. But that makes me so happy. This was sort of something we saw in the previews of Nostos. Right, it was like a lot of first-person stuff, and he was climbing up cliff sides, and I kept thinking, man, this does feel very Breath of the Wild, like surface level at least. And if these guys actually deliver on that, that's really exciting.
Yeah, man. I mean, and it's all brought together too by like a cyberpunk city in the middle, and that's where the name Zenith comes from. That's what it's called, is Zenith. Where everybody will probably meet is probably where you start out, depending on, I don't know if they're going to have like a good side and a bad side or something like that. If there's going to be PvP in this, it's probably more PvE, I would imagine. But yeah, these are awesome things. I just like that there's like sword fighting, there's like physics-based pairing and attacking, stuff like that. So obviously massive multiplayer, tons and tons of people, customization, there's roles, classes, you can tank, you can do essence mage is what they call, or heal as a blade master. That's what I'm going to be all about. So they've got all the MMO and typical JRPG tropes here that they sound like they're on top of. And man, they've already got a huge community behind this. I'm not going to lie. When we've been following this game, there was a part of me that was a little skeptical when it was early on that we'd ever see it. Like, I know the developers probably wanted to bring it to PSVR, but something this ambitious and something this huge, I was like not exactly sure. I was like, how would this even run on a PS4? So I don't want to say I'm surprised, because they've been telling us over and over and over, yes, it's coming. But I still get surprised sometimes about what the PS4 is capable of, and PSVR Generation 1 is capable of.
I mean, it's not the best example because we all know it's blurry, but I mean, No Man's Sky, I said vehemently, this game will never play on a PS4 in VR. You will not see No Man's Sky in VR. Right. And then it fucking came out. Hitman is the same thing. I can't believe what they pulled off with it. So
stunning.
Anything's possible, man, if it's a good dev team and they know the hardware.
Yeah, and this does look beautiful.
And it looks like a simple enough art style that it would render pretty well in the headset. Like,
yeah,
it's lush, but it's not like so detailed. It's like more in the vein of like Until You Fall or something. Not as stylized, but like closer to that than realistic.
Right.
So,
Yeah, no, this like it's I think when you start putting enough different things into the environment, even if they're like flat shaded kind of things, it starts it starts feeling populated and it starts looking nice. And I think that's what they're doing here. And they're certainly showing like a lot of like, fog here and there to cover up draw distance, I'm sure. But like it's still beautiful. And like if this looks even remotely this good in the headset, which hopefully on PS5 it will, I'm really excited to play this. This could be really cool.
yeah.
But I'm definitely with you, AJ. Like this one seemed like it was the furthest out, compared to Elysia, compared to what's the one we keep?
Nostos, I guess.
Well, Gnosis, which apparently is never coming to VR.
Yeah.
And then
Don't even care.
Redemption's Guild was another one. We were like, well, these have been in development forever, and these guys were, these guys kind of went dark. And although I'm sure if I followed them closer on Discord, they've been posting regular updates and stuff. But as far as like putting out trailer after trailer, this is like the first big one we've seen. So this is really exciting. No release date. So
I still think they have a lot of work to go on this. I think they have a long way to go because I thought I just saw them talking about hiring a gameplay engineer.
Okay.
But what's cool is the glimpses of the gameplay. Like I've said before, not only is there pairing and stuff, but it did look like there is some motion based like spells and stuff that you have to do, and that would be really really cool to add to the immersion that way. I still think they have a lot of work to do with this, but just exciting nonetheless. Seems like they definitely got their crowdfunded. If you guys remember, this game crushed its Kickstarter by like 200% within the first 24 hours, within like the first 15 minutes or something like that. It was ridiculous. So they have the community, they have the support. Now they've got Sony backing them. I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, Dan Kiefer says, "You fly with wings. Fuck jetpacks." And he's absolutely right. I actually stopped reading on the PlayStation blog when I was talking about all the different movements and climbing and all that. It followed it up right after a photo. It says, "Soar through the skies using our gliding system to quickly fly to distant areas of the map or get to drop on some enemies or just take in the view." Fucking crazy, man. Like, I love cool locomotion systems, and this definitely seems like a cool one.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to move on to another reveal this week.
This is the last announcement from yesterday. A big one, a game we already knew about, but After the Fall basically gave us an update. And this comes from Tam2 Bui, the community manager over at Vertigo Games. And says, "Hey, everyone, I'm Tam2, community manager. Some exciting news to share with PSVR fans. Ever since we were first revealed After the Fall, our team has quietly worked away to bring you the most thrilling VR co-op action first-person shooter that will pit you and your friends against a post-apocalyptic VR world in a raging fight for survival. Today, we are excited to announce that After the Fall is coming soon to PSVR with full cross-platform multiplayer support."
It's good. It's real good. Very important for these for all multiplayer VR games to be cross-platform, because I don't think any single platform is populated enough to keep that running or keep that sustainable very long.
And everybody's got from the initial previews, we're thinking Left 4 Dead vibes, kind of stuff like that. 4-player co-op, shooting down these hordes. But it's not. So I want to say about that crossplay thing. It's not like a little bullet point somewhere. They go in depth and they're like, we are really definitely fucking making this. It's not going to be something that slips and you don't end up seeing in the game. Like, remember Onslaught had multiplayer and then it got released and there was no multiplayer. Right. I think we can say for sure that this is not going to release without crossplay or without multiplayer, because they spent so much time talking about it in this blog post. So that's a good sign. That's a really good sign.
They also confirmed that this game will use the Move controllers and the Aim controller.
Yeah. Which technically we shouldn't be surprised about, because they did add that to Arizona Sunshine. They patched in like a whole nother Move campaign, technically, like with different weapons, and you actually have to play. Or did I say the Move Aim campaign? Whatever it means. You know what I meant.
It's a separate campaign, yeah. Right? Like you
have different two-handed weapons, and you have to, if you play that campaign online, you have to play with another person that has the aim controller. Like that's so hopefully they don't make that happen this time around. But it does prove that Vertigo has experience and was very interested in the aim controller from the get-go. So,
we. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Big news from the chat. Wargarble is canceling Whiplash. He's going to make Gorn instead because he's tired of waiting for it to come out.
Yeah,
and I understand.
It needs to come out eventually.
Sorry, Brian. I thought you were done there. Keep going.
No, I was just going to go on about like what this trailer is all about, man. I was just because this is a lot of people have been like, what the fuck's going on with this cinematic trailer, man? Like, show us some gameplay, and that's coming in a couple weeks. And I sort of like what they're doing right now because at the end of last year, they sort of quietly said, hey guys, we want to make this game as good as we can make it. We're going to push it into next year, and we're all like, okay. But they didn't say when, and so we all just assumed, January, February, March, something like that, And so here they are. They went pretty like radio silent for a while, and then they kind of reintroduced their game with a cinematic trailer, and then they say summer, right? It's coming in summer. They give us a few more details about it, and then they also say, in like 2 or 3 weeks, there's going to be a gameplay trailer, brand new gameplay trailer. It's going to like reveal all the stuff we're waiting to find out, and this is cool to me, man, because it seems like. I think after a while, after the hype train dies down and you lose momentum, and I think this is what Vertigo Games kind of had to do, sort of go quiet and reintroduce their game to the world on the PlayStation stage too. This is a great way to do it.
I'll be honest with you. I'm glad that you mentioned that they are planning on showing gameplay in a couple weeks because I was actually just about to say that I'm starting to get a little tiny bit concerned about this game. I was, we had a big discussion in the Discord about this and stuff, but I'm starting to lean towards with J Mal here and saying that they need to show me some gameplay because all this cinematic trailer stuff is cool, but that has literally nothing to do with what is going to make this game good. The gameplay is. Right. And so, my hype on this game has fallen a little bit. I'm still praying, hoping that it's really good. And I think they are more than capable of delivering a really awesome, fun game. But my hype is definitely starting to hinder a little bit because of the lack of showing gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me was when Arizona Sunshine dropped on PSVR, we had been conditioned to be excited about this game, that it was some big event for this to come because it was so popular, right? And then I think all three of us were sort of like, this is what we were supposed to pay $40 for and be excited about? Really? That's what you delivered? Because at launch, it wasn't really, it wasn't really great. And so we haven't seen anything to gauge whether or not it looks great or not yet, other than cinematic stuff and telling us how cool it's going to be.
Yeah.
But there does have to be that part in the back of our brains, like AJ's saying, keep that active. This could still be an Arizona Sunshine launch again, even if it's a broader scope of the game and stuff. They could still miss the mark. But that said, they have a much bigger budget now. I assume they probably have a more talented team,
more experience,
more time to work with the equipment and stuff.
Yeah,
there's a lot of reasons to believe. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to believe that this will be good, but I don't know. I'm just seeing a couple red flags here that have me a little concerned.
Yeah, Triangular says Tyrael Wood, who's another VR channel. I think he does mostly tech reviews and stuff. But he says he recently played After the Fall, and it was very similar to Arizona Sunshine, and he hopes it improves by launch. That's unfortunate to hear because that's the thing I was worried about.
Is that credible? Is that a credible source?
Has
anyone else played?
No, I'm just saying. I don't know why he'd make that up, but he's a fairly reputable other channel. It was just info that I don't have that apparently somebody has. So.
Yeah, I don't take somebody's.
I'm not saying it's gospel, dude. I'm just saying.
I remember,
that said
but no, I know.
Was not impressed. That's all. I'm passing it along.
Yeah,
Brian's tweeting again.
I am. I'm sorry. I keep getting DMs. I apologize. You guys are way less important than the individual people sending me messages. No, absolutely not. I've just. It's basically. I can't. After the show, I'll tell you guys what's going on. It's exciting. I promise you. Yeah, but no, it's this is great, man. I really think this is great, and I'm glad it wasn't just okay, we delayed the game, and now it's we're getting out end of January, end of February, and kind of rush it out, we don't want this to, be this thing that's endlessly delayed. So take your time, man. Take your time. This is going to be a game that hopefully we're going to play for a long time, and and I'm okay. I'm actually okay. Usually I say fuck cinematic trailers. I'm actually okay with this because I feel like this sets the tone. You know, like they're going for like a creepy vibe, and they're trying to set all this up. And if this is really how it's going to feel, like maybe not look, but feel to go through some of these areas with a group of friends, then that's great, man. You're setting the tone for me right now. And again, if they had gone silent and said, yeah, we'll get you gameplay trailers eventually. They said, no, we're bringing it to you in 2 or 3 weeks. Like, it's coming. And I think it's going to be a big event when it happens, because we're all going to be like, holy shit, they are delivering on this, or, possibly the alternative. I guess anything's possible.
So.
But yeah, summer, right? Summer 2021. Move and name support. This is great. 4 players. I can't wait to play through this game with you guys.
Yeah, I like the style. I like everything they're going for in this game. So the concept, everything seems great to me. And yeah, 4-player co-op, Left 4 Dead style.
Can we lock Jeremy in for our 4th and stream that? Because that sounds like it would be a lot of fun to me.
I mean, I'm sure if you start a fight with him and his girlfriend, like he'll have a lot of free time on his hands to be able to do that. Other than that, I don't know. I wouldn't promise anything.
There's a lot of weapons and stuff. So real quick, this is armed with full VR motion controls or the aim controller. After the Fall will make you feel like your favorite, slightly overpowered 1980s action hero as you engage in the game's high-paced combat with real-life movements. Aside from more conventional type weapon types, you'll be able to gear up with weaponry and tools that are heavily inspired and rooted in 1980s culture. Unlocked that iconic cassette player turned missile launcher to keep the hordes at bay. Don't rest your laurels just yet, because no mission will play the same twice. So yeah, definitely sounds like a Jeremy game here with a bunch of 80s movie references and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
That is great. Yeah, absolutely. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do to get him involved.
Cool. Well, that is it for the spotlight yesterday, guys. Huge news. 6 awesome looking games. Pretty excited about. But that is not all. We've had more news breaking, some stuff even today. And so it's time to move on to that if you guys are ready.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Impulse Gear. Have you guys heard of them? I don't know. They're a little company that I can't think of a way to remind you who they are, but Impulse Gear, they are the creators of Farpoint and the aim controller here. And they have been teasing us a lot lately. As for some people may not know, Farpoint is now available on PlayStation Plus. And to be honest with you, if you don't have an aim controller, try to get one and get Farpoint. But if you don't, then just play it with the DualShock. I'll go ahead and say it. I've never even played it with the DualShock, but go ahead and play it, because I was reading Reddit comments saying that a lot of people still did it because that's what they had access to.
I mean, it's fine.
However,
it's fine. But yeah, get an aim controller.
So something interesting has happened. They've basically been saying that we will be making a full reveal and announcement soon, and they wanted us to know. They go on to talk about when Farpoint launched, we were thrilled with the positive reception and delighted at the response from our fans. Since then, the game has become a critical and commercial success, and we are proud of this labor of love that is one of the best-selling titles in VR. I agree. Farpoint was the first game that made me go, VR is the future. This is how storytelling in video games can be done. This is immersive. The just so many things. You guys know how much I love Farpoint, and how much I was insulted, Bryan, that one of us didn't have it on their top 25 list. Never again, Bryan. Never again. But anyways, they teased that they're going to be. They say they're getting really close to being ready to show us what they're working on next. But something had happened, and I saw this via Petrifying Pumpkins. I know there's a couple people that might have mentioned it, but I know his is genuine because I watched a video where he literally clicks on it and finds it out live. But ImpulseGear.com has this website with this update about the thing, and they have their new icon. And if you click on it, it takes you to a SoundCloud file. Oh my God, that's loud. It takes you to a SoundCloud file that has this cryptic, weird message. What did you think of all this, guys?
Well, I think we should listen to the message. You ready? All right, let's do it. Message.
You have traveled in violence to bring peace with the leeches of Alano. Ilani. We know the way. It is this way. To the left, and then inwards.
Did you do it?
That's it. That's it. What do you think? Was it tagged? It's tagged with 3 words, right? Leeches, space, and transmission, I think was the third one.
I think we'll need to get Julia to translate that for us. Julia, the game cat.
Right.
Yeah, man.
This is fun. This is fun, man. Like I feel like this doesn't happen that much anymore. I feel like either things get leaked or it just sprung upon us. But very seldom do developers it was nice that Endreams like the night before their announcement showed us the icons of like a few different things that relates to their game. But this is just fun. It's I feel like I could sit here and write down every single word that I hear and try to and decrypt it and try to figure out exactly what they're trying to say if I had the time. But I think this is fun, man. I wish video game companies would do this a little bit more often.
Yeah, it reminds me of those ARG games, they called them, like augmented reality, where you'd go do stuff in the real world to find out some little clue about something that was coming out, or you'd have to go find something they dropped somewhere, which is always fun. Yeah, that's always really cool. So good marketing strategy.
Yeah. Decepticon, says he's deciphered some of it and said, you have trouble in violence. Wait, no, I thought it said you have traveled in violence to bring peace. Leeches of unintelligible. We know the way. It is the way to the left, and then in words. So the only thing I thought that I heard differently is it says you have traveled in violence to bring peace is what I thought it said, not the other. But the rest of the stuff sounds right. Thank you for that, Decepticon. Oh, yeah. But, there's one thing I took away from this. I didn't really try to decipher anything or look into it too much.
I didn't try to
first
think.
of all,
I didn't try to use brain power.
Let me explain, Brian. First of all, I'm bad at puzzles. I am the last person that is going to figure this message out.
But you figured out Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and that's the ultimate puzzle game.
If anyone out there starts a drinking game, which I don't recommend because these shows are very long and you'll end up dead, but AJ saying something about puzzle games is definitely, you guys have to take a drink for that.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what I did figure out, guys. I figured out something big here.
What's that?
And that is, I think it's safe to say that whatever their next game is, it's going to have some weird sci-fi alien stuff going on in it.
Oh, yeah, just might.
So
it's almost like they're into that or something.
Yeah.
Does this make you think more or less, AJ, that this is going to be Farpoint 2 or a new IP?
God, I want it to be Farpoint 2. I want it to be Far. It doesn't matter, Brian, because I want it to be Farpoint 2 so bad.
Do you think if it really was Farpoint 2, they would have dropped a name or a reference or something in here that
it might be too easy.
Out?
It would be too easy then, right?
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. You want to get people excited about something. So it's a little easier to get excited when you know what you're getting excited about. Yeah. A little tease, a little hint would have been interesting. But I guess they're keeping it full on cryptic.
It's very cryptic. I feel like there's a chance that it is Farpoint because it's because Farpoint just went for sale or went free on Plus, and then this is a sci-fi message that sounds like some kind of weird Farpoint stuff. So I think it very well could be. I'm definitely hoping for that.
It's smart.
But
it's smart. Put your game out there for free. So many PlayStation Plus games have caught fire because of that. Rocket League was an amazing success because it was a free PlayStation Plus game. That's what set that game on fire and then just propelled it into the future, right? And so putting games get a lot more attention when you can play them for free, and then word of mouth carries it from then. It's suddenly tens of thousands of people or hundreds of thousands of people are playing this game that they just got for free and telling all their friends and talking about it online and doing all of this and getting the momentum moving again. So many times we hear from people that go, why doesn't anybody talk about Farpoint? Why isn't anybody talking about Astrobot? Well, we fucking talked about it. But after a while, it's just well, that game happened 2-3 years ago. And it's it's no longer in the day-to-day vernacular of Without Parole. We love that game, but it's it's not.
You're excluding me, maybe.
Hold on, real quick. It is the free. It is the free PS Plus game this month. We should be talking more about it. Right?
Exactly. That's 100% what I'm saying. It's it brings it back to the conversation, right? It brings it to the front of the conversation. People are playing it for free. We're talking about it again, and then suddenly everyone's talking about Farpoint, and then a month later, they announced Farpoint 2, and suddenly hundreds of thousands of different people actually know about this game instead of being what the hell is Farpoint? Yeah. I never even heard of Farpoint 1. Yeah. So this is actually a really smart move if that's the case. But either way, the next Impulse Gear game is definitely something to be excited for. Jamie, yeah, with the
Very
$2 donation says this seems more like a horror game than Farpoint. I don't know, man.
If you're scared of spiders, Farpoint is a fucking horror game. I've heard people say they can't play Farpoint because it's too scary for them.
I'm not getting horror vibes here. I'm not saying that it couldn't. I'm the only thing that is sure to me is that it's sci-fi related. There's this weird transmission stuff, weird aliens talking. They sound like the same aliens from Farpoint, I will say. And I just want to point out, Brian, that I can't go 2 days without mentioning the greatness that is Farpoint. So while you over here without Parole might not, mention Farpoint all the time, this guy sure does.
Yeah, no, tax refund. The game got me big time. He was like, there hasn't been a single show where you haven't mentioned Resident Evil 7, Brian. And I was like, well, that's a fucking fair point right there. So
exactly, right. There you go. Right. Thank you, tax refund.
But that's
you have been judged.
Right. But a lot of games do fall by the wayside, and it's not because they're not
True.
great games. It's just because
True.
there's other different crazy games to talk about every single week usually.
Replay value. It's important.
Yeah, also true. So this is great, man. This is fantastic. I'm very, very, very exciting, and I really do think that, Impulse Gear kind of made somewhat of a horror game the first time around. It was definitely a little bit of dark and creepy game. It was like a lot of the unknown was ahead of you, and it was impressive. And I think that they could actually carry the IP forward in with the sequel, and maybe lean a little bit heavier into the horror vibe. I could totally see that being a thing, and also being something that I would really want with jetpacks.
They definitely are. That's the one thing that they have said about this game is that they've been trying to experiment with something new and something different.
Jetpacks.
So I'm like, if it is Farpoint, are they going to opt for move controllers instead of the aim controller? Are they going to have you use one move controller and the aim controller? What do they mean by different here? When they say that, that does worry me a little bit that, if they're doing something different, it means it might not be an aim controller game, might not be Farpoint 2. But like you said, man, at the end of the day, this is Impulse Gear. And we knew that they were hiring 3 years ago for a AAA project, is what they said. And so I think at the end of the day, as much as I want Farpoint 2, because I freaking love it, one of my favorite games of all time, I think at the end of the day, if it's made by them, I'll be pretty happy and excited to play it.
Yeah.
They better bring back Rob Yesko.
Yes. He needs to write every single PSVR game.
He's the guy who wrote, if you guys don't know, Farpoint, but also, what is that?
Invisible Hours, man.
Invisible Hours, yes.
Yep.
Two best stories in VR. Also wrote Outside the Wire, which is on Netflix. Go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and Bryan, which is a flat screen game.
Which had great reviews as well.
Right.
So hopefully they get him back in there and, serve up a narrative that's just as good as the first one.
Shout out to Rob out there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's exciting, man. That's exciting. How long do you think it's going to be until we hear something? They said it's coming. The game is coming this year, and it will be VR. So those two things are like, boom, great. Do we think it'll be PSVR exclusive? And when do you think we'll get an announcement revealing the game?
Yes, for number one, I think.
You think it's going to be PSVR exclusive?
Exclusive. I think so.
Okay.
And then I don't know about number two.
I think it's going to be on PSVR. I don't know about anything else other than that.
Yeah, I think
it could be a non PSVR game too. Yeah. It'd be heartbreaking, but
be heartbreaking if it wasn't exclusive. Is that what you're saying?
No, it'd be heartbreaking if it didn't hit PSVR at all.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't see that happening. Honestly, I don't. And especially with Sony's push for VR this year. And how closely they worked with Impulse Gear the first time around. I don't see this not hitting PSVR 1. I don't think though. I don't think it'll be exclusive this time around. I feel like it will hit all the headsets, but we'll see. It sounds like, man, I really think we're going to get an announcement of this thing soon. They are hinting and pushing and teasing so much, right? And they've been doing it for the last 3 months or so. Yeah, I feel like the announcement is imminent. Like within a month or so, we'll probably get the big reveal. Unless they want to keep teasing us, which is also really exciting. I'm okay with that too.
Their wording would make you think that, but I still think it's maybe 2 months out before we hear what it is.
AJ, do you remember that time that you thought Impulse Gear died?
I do.
Thanks for the donation, Jamie. I appreciate the $2 tip.
I had lost all hope.
There was that one time we had filmed a viewer takeover, and half of the viewer takeover is AJ saying, "Man, I don't think Impulse Gear is making another game. I think they're done. They packed it up. They called it quits. We're never going to hear from them again." And literally the next day, they made an announcement talking about, it's been a great year. We've been working on our new game, and we can't wait to reveal it to you real soon. It's coming next year. Blah 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 blah. And I was sitting up at my computer at midnight reading that announcement, having just filmed viewer takeover, going,
gotta edit that out.
Do I edit that out, or
Yes,
do I leave it in and just laugh
absolutely, you edit that
maniacally
out.
all
A little
night?
bit of behind the scenes for you guys. A good third or half of what we say on viewer takeover gets edited out
Yeah.
That is true.
judiciously by Bryan, which is probably a great call on his
You're
part.
welcome. What's up,
Yeah.
Nathan? Nathan's in the chat. How you doing, bud? Okay, guys, enough Impulse Gear speculation. Hopefully we'll have...
Are you sure? Aren't you like Mr. Conspiracy Theory? Do you have any, Nathan? Do you have any theories?
He's not gonna
You
say
think it's Farpoint too, Nathan? No, I'm just teasing because Brian's like this huge conspiracy theorist guy, and
How could I be a conspiracy theorist? I am one of the voice actors.
he has. Oh,
I think you guys love speculation.
I'm not actually, but how funny would that be if I was a voice actor? It's like, yeah. All right, guys, let's move on.
So we got a quick update from Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife. They were teasing us a little bit,
A quick
but then
update.
it turns
Jesus
out
Christ.
that so there's not. I don't
The
think there's much to it.
9-minute update.
Well, I didn't watch it because I don't want any spoilers.
No.
But
spoiler free, by the way. He talked about that.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So spoilers. This is a 9-minute. Like we've been waiting for gameplay reveal. Like there was that mixed reality one that showed kind of possibly a little bit of gameplay, but not really just like straightforward.
opening doors is gameplay.
I mean, they showed a little bit of moment to moment stuff, but yeah, nothing real like this. But this is but fast travel games. Got a bunch of YouTubers together, and they were working on what was supposed to be. I'm going to break an NDA here, and it's supposed to be a short, concise commercial about a few YouTubers becoming wraiths. We're going to die, and then come back as a wraith. And
So were they going to have a gag where they killed Gamertag and Kaz and
and
everybody?
me, I was supposed to be in this commercial, and I dropped out at the last minute.
Hold on. Now
Yeah.
that would have been incredible.
And
I
so-
would have loved to have seen that video.
With one of them, like a piano was gonna fall on their head, and somebody else was gonna fall down the stairs, and but it got a little bit too elaborate. Like, I mean, I'm working with like 400 square feet of space here, and my green screen is like about just enough to go behind me, and and he was like, wanting me to kind of like do a little bit more than I was capable of doing, and I couldn't set it up, and so finally I was like, I'm really really sorry, I can't be part of this, and so I was shocked when I saw the final 9-minute video here because it wasn't the highly edited thing I thought it was going to be, and and it wasn't them getting killed and then coming back as wraiths. It was just them playing the game. But man, regardless of all that, this excites me, man. I'm very excited to see what this game looks like. Sort of moment to moment here.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those videos, like you said. I don't know. Some people like AJ won't want to watch it because they are worried about spoilers. I think I did watch it, and it leans a little bit heavy towards that sort of like YouTubers screaming at things trope, which,
did you
for
see
me,
the thumbnail?
I've never liked that style. Yeah, I've never liked that style personally, but it is popular. It does play well as a marketing thing. So I
Right.
get that. But, I probably would have been down with that first video you're talking about. That sounds way more fun to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just guessing that a lot of people had the same problem I did, and this didn't have the space.
You
to
just
do it properly.
cost Wraith a lot of sales. Just want to
And
let
we
you
just
know.
broke an NDA live on television.
Wraith, they're not gonna be happy with you, Brian. Looking at the chat, looks like you cost them some money, man.
What are you
They're
gonna
not
do?
gonna like that.
What are you gonna do?
After all they've done for you.
But this is, but don't forget, guys, that this is the game. So we'll talk about the release date stuff in a second. There's a lot more here to unpack. But don't forget, when you're looking at this, and they are trying to keep it spoiler free, which is good, but to a certain extent, it's hard to sell a horror game or even a horror movie without spoiling some stuff, because you want to show some of the scares, like some of the build up, the tension and stuff, like all the stuff that gets you excited to play a horror game or watch a horror movie. And then this, right? And so there's a lot of like, oh, I'm gonna walk down this hallway. Oh, I'm gonna walk down this hallway too. Oh, I'm also gonna walk down this hallway, and it's like nothing happens. It's like so I sort of wish there was like a little bit more, being like, hey, don't watch the next minute if you don't want spoilers, kind of thing, because just to convince me that like this is the game that they have been selling by saying. Take the scariest parts of Alien Isolation, that part Resident Evil 7 with the girl climbing up the stairs, with Mia climbing up the stairs, the part like Amnesia. They're like referencing all of the scariest of scary games ever made, and saying we think we have those kind of scares in our game. We think we have reached the same level of horror that those games have reached. Sirens on my end, and I'm like, this looks great. I'm excited to play this game, but so far I'm still. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna do that yet. I'm hoping it does because I love horror games. I want it to scare the crap out of me, but we'll see.
Well, the unfortunate news here is that it was actually delayed on PSVR. So I guess we'll get to know if it's good or not before then, before it comes out. But, you know, I love fast travel games and everything, but oof, this announcement was, I don't know if that was the best day to announce this yesterday.
When everything is coming out. Ours isn't coming out.
Yeah. You know, that's just a little bit of bad luck on their end, but I think they'll be fine. Everything they've done has been good, at least nothing less than good. So
imagine the PR guy who scheduled that email to go out and realized, oh my God, no, Sony, no, stop.
But no, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, this is it. So what they say, it's because they've been saying for months now, or pretty much ever since they debuted the teaser and the trailer for this thing, that it's coming early 2021. And then the word right now, as far as PSVR is concerned, is just coming in 2021, not early or anything else. But the early part comes for Oculus, which is coming April 22nd, and Steam, which is May 25th, which is bordering on the end of early. As it is. So I'm assuming that COVID probably took its toll on the development process here. They did say, you know, on Twitter or wherever else that they're taking their time and they want to optimize each one separately. And, you know, hopefully by the time it gets to us, it'll be the most polished version.
I listened to a bit of this guy's interview recently, and it was cool to hear him talk about optimization for different platforms and stuff. Like, it sounds like, even though people are always like, oh, PSVR 1 is so outdated and everything, he said, listen, we've got a lot of experience with porting games down to Oculus Quest at this point. So any platform that we're on, it's going to run great. And that's something you can put money on. And he was like really decisive about that. Like he said, our team, I'm very confident in them. You know, we've grown, we've got good talent. We've got a lot of big offers for stuff that we're working on in the future as well. This isn't the last you're going to hear from us. Maybe not the only thing tied in with an existing IP either. So lots of interesting stuff. But like you said, I don't think we'll see a lot of it beforehand, because one thing he mentioned was that he doesn't want to reveal some of the wraiths that you encounter because he wants people to see them for the first time. So I think a lot of it will be hidden until you go in and play the game and see it for the first time yourself.
Right. Which is good from a player's perspective, from a gameplay perspective. But man, but selling this game is going to be hard. Hopefully they have the chops to make a great trailer. I don't think the mixed reality one was bad. I've just got something against mixed reality trailers in general.
I don't like mixed reality trailers. I mean, Tarzan VR is.
They need to stop that.
Tarzan's hilarious.
Shit, I love that one. It's like a meme. It's the best thing ever.
I was telling Bryan this, I think yesterday, man, they need to stop this mixed reality thing. Unless maybe it's like I don't know, the trailers anyways, because you look at the Fracked gameplay trailer and that was like so awesome. You get to see
a lady in sweatpants just going like this.
You get to actually see what it's like. It's already hard to convey what playing VR games is like to a flat screen, because it's always better in the headset most of the time. I just really think just show the first person view or something, because it doesn't help convey what the gameplay experience is. Last time I checked, people don't necessarily look awesome playing VR. I don't give a shit, but that's not going to make people go, oh yeah, like, oh, look at that person, he looks like he's having a great time. You know, it just doesn't work, man. Yep. The Tarzan one, that's kind of an exception, because that was just so goofy and funny, and it was like obviously awful on purpose. So
and everything.
So that one made sense, but you can't just show any game in mixed reality, especially, I don't know. You know, this is a horror game as well, and you can't even see the fear in the dude's face.
Well, so this is an interesting thing that isn't exactly the topic we're discussing, but just popped into my head. Sony has never nailed the way in their marketing to present VR to people. Like half the time in their commercials, they're not even showing real games.
They got it down now.
Well, but I think
PlayStation blogs.
no, but I mean in terms of visual marketing in advertisements. So Oculus has done this thing with mixed reality where they actually don't do a normal mixed reality thing. Have you seen the Beat Saber commercial for Oculus where they have Eric from Tim and Eric, and he's talking to the guy and stuff? Essentially, they're floating in this platform that is made to resemble Beat Saber, but it's not just a straight mixed reality shot of the guy waving his arms around. And you have a famous actor standing there talking to him about, you know, the reality and what he's doing and stuff. And it's not that sort of cheesy looking MR where it's just some person swinging around. It's like a full production that actually shows you what the game looks like inside of it, but still has a little bit of that's something you need to make it snappy. And I think that a lot of indie devs don't have that budget, obviously, to do something like that. You can't hire famous comedians and shit. Right. But I'd like to see Sony try their hand at stuff like that, where they show you like what it's like in the game, but it's not just a straight MR thing. It's like a little bit more production value that's not so generic. Because all their marketing is like, you can go places with this, but they're not really the games that you go to. It's just like a generalized fantasy world that happens when you put the headset on. So, anyways, that's my shtick.
Yeah. Any you know, we don't have to stay on this one too long because there's basically no news, but I just included it because the delay was significant. Any other final thoughts on Wraith for now?
I hate the delay.
Obviously,
I'm so sad.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
we'll be swooping back around on this one later, of course.
Yep, absolutely.
But guys, there is something else that was announced today that might satisfy you. Inspired by light gun games of the 90s and racing games of today, Zombieland VR Headshot Fever rewards skill, speed, and accuracy with addictive gameplay, a range of powerful weapons, better be Twinkies, and our exciting new adrenaline system. XR Dev announced a game today, and it's another movie adaptation. They recently did Angry Birds 2, the movie Under Pressure,
kind of cool.
Which was it wasn't bad. But yeah, man, Zombieland getting a Time Crisis and House of the Dead inspired game. That's all they need to say. I'm expecting this game to be maybe like a good version of Deadland, but I don't think it's going to be a huge game. But all they had to say was inspired by 90s light gun games. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to love this. I'm going to love the living hell out of this game.
I can't go all the way there with you on that just yet, because even though it is a light gun shooter, I will not just say bar none, any fucking light gun shooter is okay.
Yeah.
And
true.
From what I'm seeing in this one, it looks kind of
generic.
Iffy. It looks generic. They're introducing some weird concepts that don't really make sense to me in the marketing. Like as a player, they're like, oh, it's like a House of the Dead mixed with modern racing games. But you're not in a car or you're not racing anybody. It's just like a time trial, which is confusing. Like, I don't get why they're calling it a modern racing game if you're just speed running it against other people. And it just doesn't really look that good. It looks really cheap.
It looks cheap. It looks cheap for XR because XR is usually really polished looking games, really nice looking games. And this looks a little bit more like a cheap arcade, game for them. But yeah, like I said, I don't know. It does. I definitely understand. But like I said,
excited about Zombieland as a franchise. Like the movie was fine or whatever. Like
I like the movie. I like the movie a lot.
There's a sequel, right?
It's like I enjoyed it. I don't think I saw the sequel.
I didn't
but it's
either.
like
one Zombieland was enough, man. Like
it's a weird one.
Yeah, but it was good though.
It felt original. They were doing something a little bit different with the zombie movie genre. Like, and I was like, well, but then creating a sequel of it sort of kills the whole originality. So I had no desire to go back and watch a follow up.
Oh, I feel like the vibe I get from this game is that somebody was making a cheap zombie shooter for mobile devices, VR devices, and they were like, hey, can we slap like a cheap IP on this too? Like some license we can get for not too expensive that will make people actually interested in it? Because I don't see anything in it that's like specifically reminds me of the movie. Like Bill Murray's not in the fucking thing. Like it's not like that.
Yeah.
And I guess the characters from the movie are in it in some fashion, but they're just talking to you over a radio or something like that. Some kind of unexciting VR implementation of storytelling, of people just shouting at you over a radio. So it's really not exciting for me at all. Actually, I hope it's good, but I just can't be excited about it.
I'm with you. I hope everything's good. But I'm not very optimistic that this is going to be the case with this one. The interesting thing about this, so AJ was talking about inspired by light gun shooters, but every wave shooter we have is technically inspired by a light gun shooter, and this looks like a wave shooter. It looks like a fairly generic wave shooter.
It's only this.
Motion. I'm got it paused right now, and I'm going to show you the 2 seconds of motion. There it was. It was literally zip. There we go. And now the fact is why is that the only time in the entire trailer? The trailer is a minute long, and only for a half a second do we see any motion at all. Does this game have teleportation? Are you zipping around the environment? Is there movement? Doesn't seem like any of that's the case. So
it's a rail shooter.
So what was that move? Oh, see, and if it's a rail shooter,
it looks to me like a wave shooter more than a rail shooter. If
exactly.
You show me this footage and you tell me it's a rail shooter, I'm going to say, first of all, it's not a modern racing game either. But it's not right. Nothing that you said it was. It looks like a stationary wave shooter.
Is there a 2-player mode where you're both shooting and on 2 different tracks and racing to the end of the level, shooting? If that's the case, then I totally get the racing thing. But if it's 1 player, I don't get the racing thing at all. And it does. And if it is a rail shooter, then they should have included more rail shooting stuff in this trailer, because this does look like a wave shooter.
Yeah, but you got to remember, guys, rail shooters back in the day, they weren't all like Rush of Blood, where you're actually on a roller coaster on rails.
Yep.
So a lot of them. Anybody a trailer of House of the Dead 2, there would be motion in it. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
you couldn't even cut out the motion from the thing.
Right, but wouldn't the motion in this be? Wasn't it usually you'd go to a spot, you'd shoot everything that's there, then you move to the next spot?
You're there for half a second, you go bam, bam, bam.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see the thing that you're different.
You're constantly in motion. And
correct. Okay.
Every shot is a guy standing here, and I don't see him shoot 3 guys and then move forward.
Right. And I do know that you mean certainly Time Crisis 2 and 3. I remember you're getting out to a certain area and you're taking down the guy over here.
Right.
And you're in that space for 30 seconds, maybe a minute. But then there is this progression where you're moving from place to place. And if that's what they're doing in this, they're not showing it. And so that's why this is gonna look so generic. And that's why it's going to look like every other wave shooter ever made.
I'm just saying, Brian, this is going to be my Deadland, okay? Let me have my Deadland. I let you have your Deadland. Let me have my Deadland.
Listen, Deadland's terrible, but at least you're constantly moving. It's an endless runner, man. And I wish somebody would make a better version of Deadland, because Deadland is. I'm not going to call it fun because somebody's going to buy it and be like, Brian, why'd you call it fun? But man, I want somebody to make a better version of that game. You were just running nonstop the whole time, shooting everybody. It's let's make a good version of that. I wish this was that.
It doesn't look like a good version of anything. That's all I'll say.
I have a feeling I'm going to like this game still.
Okay. Did you like Sharknado?
Well. No, I hated Sharknado.
I'm just curious.
Well, a lot of people are saying Sharknado vibes in the chat, or at least one person said it, and I'm going to repeat it.
This is XR, man. This is a little bit different. XR.
Who made Sharknado?
The game studio? I mean...
exactly.
I mean, I will say the Angry Birds game was polished. And could be conceivably fun if you had multiplayer people in person to play it with. I'd never had that scenario when I was trying it out, so it didn't really hit me one way or the other. But it was polished, so I guess they do have a good team is in general. But it doesn't look good. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't look good.
Gotcha.
All right. But yeah, Joe Kelly says the debates are heavy here tonight. Indeed. You guys you guys wanted the drama. You like the drama. You know it. Yeah. Final thoughts on this one, though. I think it looks like there's enough for me. It doesn't have to be an amazing game. I could be very wrong here, but I feel like, it's not going to be something amazing, but I might kind of like it a little bit.
In terms of cryptic commentary from someone who might know something, Nathy said, as we discussed this game, I wish I could say something about this.
Yeah, tell us.
He knows.
He knows. He knows whether it's good or bad or knows more about it, but he can't tell us.
But it's one of those ones. No way to know how to interpret it. So
this press release is fucking forever long. Did it? Did they give us a release date for this?
I think it's the spring. It's spring for other platforms
Quest,
and
Rift,
later
and Vive and mixed reality
Right.
headsets, and then later for PlayStation VR. We're getting the same message twice in a row here. All right.
Yep. So another one we'll get to, at least we'll know it's good or bad before it gets to us. So
Here you go. Who needs a fucking review? My job.
Peter Cordova says Dave versus AJ heated debates are the best.
I'm actually really excited when you guys debate, so I can just like go and tweet. All right.
Well,
not the only game that got announced today, though. Dude, what a crazy fucking week this has been.
It's absolutely crazy, an abundance of stuff. So finally, one of the last game announcements we got, and this was the very, very last second that this popped up, but was really cool, is Hubris VR. I saw this because of VR Focus tweeted about it and said the stunning sci-fi world of Hubris VR awaits PSVR and PC VR headsets in fall 2021. So coming out in the fall of this year is when it's expected to be. Obviously, we got to give some devs a little cushion there, because a lot of times, guys, so real quick from VR Focus says this single player adventure puts you in the role of a recruit training to be an agent of the Order of Objectivity, a fear organization also known as sent to look. I wasn't expecting that either.
It's fear organization known as
It's
I'm terrified.
It's probably OOO. But sent. Sent. I don't know. That's what it says. Sent to look for a mysterious agent called Sienna. You have to survive in a hostile environment, currently undergoing terraforming, encounter new factions, and building new items around the way. Hubris VR promises a fully explorable world where you can climb, swim, jump, and run around as you please. You'll encounter a wide variety of creatures, some friend and foe, a mixture of alien wildlife, humanoids, and mechanized enemies. Okay. First of all, let me just say the first look at this game, it does look visually stunning. It looks really, really pretty.
Oh, yeah.
But I have some more thoughts on that as well.
Ooh. I can't wait to hear them. I'm going to keep saying that.
This game looks like it looks like my kind of jam. Sci-fi, like this is the kind of game that I like. This is my number one stuff. I love sci-fi. I love futuristic, weird stuff. It looks like stunning environments to explore, and things like that. The part that concerned me just a little bit is where I saw the gameplay and the shooting and stuff. And I was like, the gameplay itself hasn't sold me yet. Everything else looks awesome though.
Yeah, I mean, there are scenes in here where there's a guy swimming up through the water and, he breaks the surface and, got your hands in VR and it looks gorgeous. Like you said, the graphics are really impressive. What I said, I think, between us before we talked about this publicly is that, like, it reminds me of the concept of, like, graphics are going to keep getting better and better and better. Yeah. But gameplay design doesn't necessarily go with it. Like, just because it looks better doesn't mean that the game you play is going to be a great game. And we're getting into the phase of VR where we have to worry about that now. We never had to worry about that before because the games, everyone's like, oh, this looks like a PS3 game. And you deal with it. Now when you see these games that are visually right off the bat stunning and you're like, man, I would love to see that in VR. And then you realize you're just walking around doing the same basic shooting that you did in every other VR game ever, and maybe even not as good. So that's the thing we have to kind of keep an eye on now, I think, with these new games. But yeah, like I'm in the same boat as you, AJ. I don't know if it looks great. It looks great, but I don't know if it looks great.
I mean, it's important to keep your expectations in check, right? I checked up with these guys, and this is like the first VR game they've made. Without like checking into each member's background and seeing like what games they've worked on in the past, who knows, man? Like it always seems like whenever you hear about a game like this, like with members that have worked on Halo and Metal Gear Solid and fucking whatever, and so who knows what the case is about like their actual talent and abilities. Unlike AJ, I think the action parts of this and the gameplay parts of this look totally fine. Like it looks like a pretty standard shooter, and it's only seconds of that, and so I'm interested in seeing more of it. As the trailer plays, though, I do want to read off the bullet points that I grabbed off of Steam. It says, enjoy a full VR experience with free movement, climbing, swimming, and jumping. I think they showed all of that in the trailer. Become part of a unique and intriguing sci-fi world of Hubris, the start of a new full-blown multi-episodic space saga. They just shot themselves in the fucking foot.
That is a nail in the coffin already. No, never say that.
Yeah, I thought you'd enjoy that for sure.
It's done.
Right? It's like just don't just
I'm
make.
I'm out right now.
And the fact is like I don't know why developers keep saying this kind of stuff, because the fact is like you could make a game. Don't call it episode 1 or part 1 or chapter 1 or anything else, and just make sure it has a nice tidy end on it, and then make a sequel when that game is successful. Like, but too many developers are just assuming that their Too Human is going to be perfect, and it's not going to be the case. So I don't know why they keep doing this. Anyway, savor some of the best and most immersive graphics in VR available. We'll see if that translates.
Sure.
Fight alongside colorful, epic characters against a mix of alien wildlife, humanoids, and mechanized enemies. Each of them.
I love all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Each of them requiring unique tactics to defeat. AJ's been talking a lot behind the scenes about AI in VR games, and we'll see if this lives up to his requirements. Gather and salvage resources, craft weapons and tools, control vehicles, and mechanical devices. That's what I like, man. It's like that makes me think like, hey, man, it's like there's more than just running around and exploring this place and shooting bad guys.
You can say the same thing about Wolfenstein, the VR game.
You can
you control things that you're in charge of.
But you don't craft weapons and tools and salvage resources.
You control tools. You do half of that. In some fashion. If
this was a bullet point in Wolfenstein, I would agree with you. Be like, yeah, that's fucked up. Why the hell did they say that? But this wasn't a bullet point in Wolfenstein. They would never call it that.
I've fluffed up plenty of things before, to make them sound better. Okay, no, fuck. That's shit. All right, you guys take me over. I'm out.
You dug your own grave on that one, man. I'm just gonna let you.
I'm just saying, if that's a bullet point, like that's just because they want to make it a bullet point. That's not because it's going to be really in-depth mechanics. It could be a scene where you just interact with a thing one time and they call it crafting.
It's possible, but we don't know.
We've seen games like this that build that stuff up more than is really in there.
Sure.
Fluff it up.
But
a little more.
But the hope is, without having played it and being able to call these developers out and saying, no, you guys are full of shit. If they're putting it in a bullet point, I really hope that it's part of the the moment-to-moment gameplay. I'd like to, salvaging resources, crafting, and everything like that's half of what made Saints and Sinners so much fun, so addictive was that gameplay loop. And so if they have even half of what that offered as part of this, then that's great. We have no idea if that's the case or not. Obviously, we'll keep you posted. But yeah, vehicles, mechanical devices, all sorts of cool things.
Sorry, Dave.
I mean, it's a hard line to get over.
Oh man. Well, yeah.
We should just end the show there, man. End on a high note. We can't. Yeah. We're never gonna.
Good night, everybody. Yeah. Good night. Right.
So let's see. Q4. I agree with all your points. I think that on Steam it says Q4.
Fall.
Cool. So we'll see. Again, I always get worried about these devs who are making a VR game for the first time or bringing it to PlayStation VR for the first time. Just like it's always harder than they think it's going to be. And it always takes them longer time to get through Sony certification, or or just even, getting Sony on the line sometimes seems like it's a hurdle for some developers. So we'll see.
And any dev that thinks they're making a chapter 2 of anything is like historically demonstrably wrong. Like they're not. No, it's not going to happen.
It is. I mean, you are like. I mean, I don't know if there's ever been one.
Well, I don't know if Call of the Starseed or whatever the first chapter of the gallery was called. Heart of the Emberstone, I forget which one's first. But I don't know if they actually called it Chapter 1, but they did deliver a Chapter 2. So good on you, Cloudhead. And they were amazing.
Not on PSVR.
Right? I'm still angry about that. God damn it. Let's get what was his name? Joel Green? Let's get him back here and complain.
Yeah, man. I share all of your concerns about this one. It's kind of like Echo's VR for me, except this one actually looks like stunning, but it's like I don't even know. Like I can seriously see there be a chance that this doesn't even make it to us.
Echoes is still coming, by the way. Yeah, just letting you know.
I look forward to it. Well, that is the week that we had in terms of news announcements. Holy crap, 2 hours and 15 minutes of straight news. But there was a new release this week, Brian, that I think you have to tell people about, I believe.
Oh my God, that's what I forgot about that.
And then we have the Indie Sale, which we're gonna fly through and break down for you guys. Yeah, man. Go ahead and tell us about the game that came out this week, and I will be right back.
All right. AJ's like, I don't care at all about the next 5 minutes. Shout out first and foremost.
I do.
I know you do.
I do.
I know.
Step away for a second.
Dude, I need to
I
stretch
care a lot, Brian.
I need to stretch my legs too. Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat with the $5 tip, says the Litterbox episodes have been great. Join Without Parole's Patreon to check them out. Really funny stuff. Thank you very much, Donatello, for not only the tip but also promoting our Patreon page. That is true. What we've been doing is every time Jeremy and I finish filming a Why We Love episode, we stick around and we just keep talking about whatever we feel like talking about. We don't script it or schedule it or whatever. We just say, hey man, what's going on? And then Jeremy's the fucking funniest guy on the face of the planet, so it's always fun. And then we've been having guests. We've been having, we had Betty on, we had Aceville on, we had original Uber Rich the Beard Game Cat on, and those guys stuck around and hung out and talked to us too. And I took forever getting those uploaded, but they are now finally on patreon.com/withoutparole. So if you are interested in supporting the channel, that's another way to do it. And then you also get a little bit back.
I'm raising my hand.
Hi Dave.
Am
yes,
I allowed?
You in front.
Can I be on one? Is that cool?
Yes.
I'd love to. It'd be fun, I think.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. We'll get you on the list. The list is long.
Well, so as AJ said before he dipped, did you say you wanted to take a break too? I can just with chat. If you want to take a bathroom break or something, then we'll get back to the new release.
Let me get this out of the way, and then I'll take a quick little stroll around the apartment and grab some more coffee.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so the game that came out this week, which was actually for me was unexpected. Maybe it slipped my mind. I think at some point maybe it had a release date, but it's one of those games that I don't think too many people care about. And it's called Laid Back Camp. I don't even know the full name of the game, to be honest with you. It's Laid Back Camp.
Something or other. It's
virtual
based on anime that exists, right?
Yeah, it is. It is based on anime. And actually, I don't even have Laid Back Camp. It's something about Mount something or another. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is that I was already going into this very unhappy because you guys know I just recently reviewed Spice and Wolf 1 and 2 because I just had to get it out of my system. I had to tell you guys look how fucked up this shit is. And look how boring it is. I don't mind some fucked up shit now and then. I'm a little weird here and there, but it was also boring, And it's and I think for as far as boring goes, there's no excuse for that. I'm sitting in a room talking to, or not even talking, listening to characters talk. And that's it. And no movement, no nothing.
Why even make it VR, really, at the end of the day? Other than some people will be like, ooh, she got close to me for a second.
Yeah.
That's essentially the only drive to put this in VR.
Yeah, you pet your wife and you pet your daughter because they like half wolf or something, or wolf deities or something, right? It's all just weird, and they try to paint it as if it's super innocent and stuff, but it's I couldn't play it feeling innocent. And so I wasn't really looking forward to this. I was like, oh man, this is going to be boring and not interesting. And I'll tell you, it's like $20.99 or something like that. It's $21, and it's actually sort of pleasant in a weird way. What you are is these two girls, and they decided to go camping together. There's all this text message exchanges ahead of time. But then
are you holding a phone when you're getting these texts? How interactive? It's more interactive than Spice and Wolf.
It's more interactive than Spice and Wolf, but it's not very interactive. And I'll get to that in just a second. All the text messages ahead of time is on a flat screen that is just like you're reading. It's just boom, 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 popping up. And everything is subtitled because all the voiceovers are Japanese. But I will say that they say, okay, well, we're going to go camping. And then they drop you into this serene kind of lakeside area with Mount Fuji in the background. And it's really good looking. The character model that's standing next to your friend, Rin, is super sharp and just very clearly rendered. There's no blur at all. And they actually it looks like they used a 360 photo for the background, but it's so far away from you that it still seems like it has depth. They didn't use that too close. So all of the actual 3D stuff near you is it looks pretty good too. And then the photo is far enough away where it's oh wow, when you're just kind of taking it all in, it looks really nice. It's super sharp.
It's not the clear JPEG wrap that you see.
Right, and I'm sure it could have easily gone that route and very badly. But if you're seeing the trailer here, most of what is happening in the game is you sitting in that one place by the lake with your friend. There's only one time where the scenery changes, where you literally take 10 steps closer to the water, and of course it blacks out and then blinks you, and then you're there. So there's no movement in the game. Basically one scene the whole time. But what you do is you use gaze-based or decision making. Like you look at something, and if you stare at it, a little circle pops up, and so you talk to your friend. You like look at the water, you look at the stars, you do all the stuff. Time slowly moves by. Like you progress time by looking at the fire, or like making a cup of coffee or something like that. And so then it's like different times of day. And I actually thought I don't actually recommend this to anybody. I don't, because there's nothing here. But it was like relaxing and sort of just like enjoyable, and like I'm just hanging out with this other person and we're just sitting here and shooting the shit, and it wasn't boring. It was just relaxing. But it was also 25 minutes long, and I don't really see any replayability here.
Well, it's $20.99 too, right?
Also $20, yeah. So
not even $20.99. That almost
right.
It was $19.99 at least. Come on, don't be like that.
Right.
I know, right? That's what I said. I said the same thing.
Right.
So this was
You can't even buy a PSN card for that.
I can see it being maybe on a deep sale, like something I'd want to check out just for that vibe you're talking about. Like, because I love the vibe of like catch and release, where you get that relaxation just from being out on the lake and stuff. Yeah. And if it was like, $4 and I could spend 30 minutes in an anime episode on that location, even if I have no context for the anime or whatever, it sounds better than stuff like Spice and Wolf, where you're just sitting there listening and listening and listening and listening, and it doesn't look that good and nothing happens. Really.
Yeah, that's it.
At least it's like a step above, but still way overpriced, right? Like
way overpriced. Yeah, for $5, like if you're into this anime thing and you're like I love anime, but like I've never watched this. I do like things that are a little bit more I don't want to say action oriented. I like things that are fucked up for sure. But yeah, this is I don't know. It's you're not missing anything if you don't play this, but it's certainly not the train wreck that Spice and Wolf was. But anyway, that's it. That's my quick little review.
Quick little side note, Brian. I just got a key offered to me for that Alt Deus Beyond Chronos game.
Oh, nice.
Should I check that out on the channel? Because it's coming to PSVR, right?
It is coming to PSVR, yes.
Okay, because I would be curious. That's supposed to be an actual good implementation of this sort of like anime visual novel style thing, right? Like it's really well reviewed at this point. I think the PR email said it's the best reviewed VR game on Steam right now, which is crazy.
Tokyo Chronos also reviewed really well, and I think people are absolutely out of their minds for liking that. This does seem like it's better in every regard. So let's hope that Alteus turns out to be really good, and they learn from what I consider their mistakes from the first game.
Ooh, tornado sighting.
Guys,
there she is. Okay,
it is time.
Oh no.
We have a huge sale to get to, and we have about 35 minutes to run through it. For anyone who doesn't know, the indie sale happened last week. We pushed it off to this week. And what we're going to do is go through each game, rate them with thumbs up or thumbs down, sometimes sideways. You guys feel free to chime in. It's going to be moving a little bit faster than usual, probably. But, for important ones, we're going to stop and debate, talk about them a little bit. But for the most part, we're going to try to fly through this. So I hope you guys have your wallets ready, because there's a lot of good games on sale. And it's going to be expensive. I
just want to point out to the chat something that they already know. Dave just posted in the chat, 25 minutes is laughable. We're going to be here for hours. I want the chat to pay attention. Who keeps us here for hours? Moving on. AJ, what's the first?
Challenge accepted. I'm going to be mum's the word on that. I'm just going to put my thumb down.
All right.
Okay.
The first game is 18 Floors for $8.99. PS Plus $7.49.
That's such a middle of the road one for me, because it is
middle.
Yeah, because what's actually given to us is good.
Dave is already proving you right, by the way.
What's been given to us is good. We've got 4 floors in most territories, but like we're never going to see the rest of them. I guarantee you that. And they are a little janky. Even the ones we have are kind of janky. So middle of the road.
Middle of the road. It's actually, for a puzzle game, I actually didn't mind it too much, but I didn't go back and play it either. So middle of the road. Okay. Next, A Chair in the Room Green Water for $8.74.
I never played this.
Whoa, really? Okay, that's insane.
You should keep an eye on the time here.
You should play it, Dave. I think it's fantastic. A Chair in the Room Green Water, especially if you like, Exorcist.
I like this deal a lot more than The Exorcist. It's not as scary as The Exorcist, but it's still pretty creepy. A really, really good thrilling kind of trippy game.
Yeah, for sure.
I like this one.
Okay.
Next, we have Art Pulse for $1.29. No.
Unless you like platinum trophies, it's a super easy one. 20 minutes.
Let's do a 20-minute platinum trophy.
Yeah.
Next, we have Blasters of the Universe for $7.49 with PlayStation Plus $5.99. Big thumbs up. Bullet hell shooter. Awesome. Archiac.
Yeah, no disagreement. Keep it moving.
Box VR for $11.99 with PlayStation Plus $10.49. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to say yes because for if you want a fitness app, it's also going to be
much fewer words than you did. Let's keep moving.
All right. Also, big update coming to that.
Yeah.
Brain Beats for $11.99. PlayStation Plus $10.49.
Brain Beats is fucking garbage. Let's move on. Oh wait. Also, they posted DLC on the store for another like $8 or something. I couldn't believe it. Garbage. Thumbs down. Okay.
Awful.
Budget
Big
cuts.
Thumbs down. Budget cuts for $15.99. Finally, the price that I wanted for this.
Yep.
Thumbs up for this. Really polished, really good stealth game. Catch and Release for $14.99 for with PS Plus. It is $13.99. Yes, I recommend this game at full price. I get it on the top 25. It's back on the top 25 list.
Not the biggest sale we've ever had on this, but it's still definitely worth picking up.
Amazing wilderness game. Doesn't even matter. It's so immersive and fun to float around. Cave Digger Riches for $4.99.
$5, man. I'm going to say yes.
Yes. Is this the DLC included version?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to say middle of the road.
But I guess I'll give it $5.
This game's a little too. I have so much respect for this game, but it's so boring to me. But I think it's a well-designed VR game.
It's only
Coaster,
$5, tons of gameplay. Go
for $4.49 with PS Plus.
Never mention Coaster ever again. Trash,
Nope.
Terrible,
bad. Darkness Roller Coaster and Akimbo Edition for $7.69. PS Plus $5.49. No.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Darknet for $11.24 with PlayStation Plus $1.49.
Oh wait, how is it $10 different with Plus?
Right?
Yeah, that's weird.
No,
I'm still gonna say no because it's not fun enough.
It's not. It's like Minesweeper in VR. It's like I don't want to play Minesweeper in VR. It's personal. I don't know.
It's not fun. It's a cool game, but it's not fun. Dick Wild for $5.99 or PS Plus $4.49.
Wait for the second one.
I'm gonna say no. Yeah, I'm gonna say no on this one. I'm not a big fan of this game.
Players can go up. It's easier. It's not as balls hard.
Speaking of which, Dave, Dick Wild 2 for $9.99 or PlayStation Plus $7.99. I am gonna give this a thumbs up. It's really polished, really fun shooter. Doctor Who: The Edge of Time for $13.74 with PlayStation Plus $12.49. Nope, I don't like puzzles though.
Little expensive.
I don't like
But you
puzzles,
love
and I don't
Punch
like
Out.
Doctor Who.
So guys out there, if you are doing the drinking game, he just talked about puzzles again. Cheers.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we
Cheers.
go. Dude, I'm gonna say Doctor Who is fine, but it's but yeah, I got nothing. Let's middle of the road.
Drone Striker for $5.99 with PlayStation Plus $4.99. Talk about 90s arcade light gun shooters.
Yeah.
I actually am a fan of this game. If you have an aim, especially, I think does it use the moves as well?
Yeah,
it does
use
use
aim
the
or
moves.
DualShock. Yeah.
I'm gonna actually say yes to this. I actually enjoyed this game quite a bit for a 90s arcade style shooter.
I thought I was going to be the only one with a thumbs up here, but yeah, let's go. Drone Strike.
I liked it more than Unearthing Mars 2. Evasion for
Wait,
$11.99.
guys, we did skip Dream Match Tennis VR, guys.
Oh, sorry.
$4.49 or $2.99 with Plus. Usually $15.
$2.99 with Plus. Oh,
Have controller too laying around, which you can get for probably $2.50 anyway.
Yeah.
You can't use on your
Use
PS5.
it's a competent game. Actually, some people might like it.
Yeah.
I'm
on Ubisoft because the other game they made was Roller Coaster Dreams, and this is the only time I'm going to spend any time talking about anything. But Roller
nice.
Coaster Dreams is funny to me and hilarious in how weird and broken, but still competent and compelling it is in some ways. Like it's bad and good all over the place, mixed in with each other. And that's kind of how this one is. Like it's a little funky around the edges. It's not your favorite tennis game ever, I'm sure, but it's got cool stuff. It's got nav support and all that. I would say thumbs up.
The
Anyways,
Nav
physics are
support
good.
doesn't work.
The physics are good. They added 2-player online PvP. So I was like, yeah, for $5, man, it's the only tennis game available, and it's not terrible.
It's all right.
okay.
I'm still going sideways because I don't really want to play it.
Evasion.
Evasion for $11.99 with PlayStation Plus $9.99.
Yep.
Big thumbs up. Another Archiac game. $9.99 for this game is a great deal.
Yep.
I just streamed it. If you want to go check out some gameplay, it's a fun game. Eve Valkyrie Warzone for $14.99.
The only problem I have with this is that Squadrons exists. Like, people are like, do I recommend this? Yeah, if you're sick of Squadrons and you need something else, like, so middle of the road, because it's a great game.
But and I also think you can probably find a physical edition for cheaper. So I'm going to say Sideways.
Probably, yeah. The update was free.
Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted for $14.99. Big thumbs up here.
But make sure you get the bundle with the Curse of the Dreadbear in it, because that's a way better deal. It's only a couple bucks more for like $15 of DLC. Yes, big thumbs up.
I recuse myself from this.
Dave, you are recused.
I am.
Form for $7.49. I'm gonna say no. This was
the worst game ever. It's pretty. I mean, it's cheap.
Worst puzzles ever.
I wouldn't pay more for it.
I like Twilight Path more.
Did you really mention puzzles again?
Yeah.
Actually drink it.
I'm not doing this on purpose.
Okay. Freediver, Triton down for $9.74 or $8.24 with plus.
Archaeact game.
Big thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Big
one,
thumbs up.
despite not having played myself, I still want to give it a thumbs up. I didn't get to. I think I played for like 15 minutes and I lost it. I don't know what happened.
The problem is
getting
you saw 25% of the game. That's the only problem with this game, is that it's only 90 minutes long.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, way too short.
It's short, but it's awesome.
It is.
Fruit Ninja VR for $10.49 with PlayStation Plus $9.74. No.
Sale on this fucking game. Like, it's not a terrible game. It's a decent.
It's like a $2-3 game.
It
Yeah.
should be a $3 game.
Yeah.
For this price. No fucking way.
No. Ghost Giant for $12.49 with PlayStation Plus $11.24.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
yes. If you like the P word and
Pornography?
a good story.
I think he meant pathos. I'm sure that's the word he meant.
What's the keyword?
Yeah. I don't want to kill Dave with alcohol poisoning.
Puzzles.
Gun Club.
I
I was
want
thinking
to-
about you there.
I thought we were gonna play the penis game. Remember the penis game when you were a kid? Penis.
I thought for sure you meant pathos, because there is a ton of pathos in this game.
The penis game, Brian.
You never played the penis game when you were a kid? I still play it now. Walking around
the
public, you say penis kind of quietly. You go,
walking
penis.
around.
And then your friend has to say it louder than you, and then that person say, and then within like 30 seconds, somebody is screaming penis at the top of their lungs in public. You gotta play the penis game.
All right. Gun Club VR for $9.99 with PS Plus $8.74. It's a good game. Good. Yeah. Really
Is
good
there
game.
one with the DLC in it?
The
No, it's
DLC
separate.
still costs like $8, I think, but it's worth it.
But it's
This
worth
game's good.
it. Gunjack for $2.49. I'm gonna say no.
You know, for
It's not the worst game
$2.49,
ever. It's super cheap, but like, yeah.
I played it. That 2 minutes and 49 seconds is about how long I played this before I got bored.
If you want to play a cheap ass Galaga like arcadey fucking game, that's all it is.
It's not even that good. Then play Polybius.
but it's $2.49, and like it's fun for an afternoon, and it used to be $10.
An afternoon. It's an afternoon. Maybe 4 years ago it was fun for an afternoon. It's
All right. Moving on.
All right, I'm in with you and Brian. Like, it's not the worst thing ever.
Heavy Fire. You know what is the worst thing?
Yeah,
ever?
Heavy Fire,
Red Shadow.
Not
for
worth it at any
$7.99.
price. Not fun at all.
I actually consider this one of the possibly the worst PSVR game.
Oh, it's so boring.
It's so boring. Home Sweet Home for $17.99 with PS Plus $14.99.
If you're really feeling the horror vibe and
You need a horror game.
stuff, and if you're into Asian horror stuff, like, this is definitely in the vein of like The Ring or like that kind of thing.
Yeah, gonna give it a thumbs up.
I'm gonna say
Middle of the road. If you like that stuff, thumbs up.
the only problem with this game is that like there's a game-breaking bug that forces you to play part of it in non-VR. And then even the end of it feels kind of janky. Like everything from that point on just feels kind of fucked up. Like they need to patch this thing. But I got to say, I'm still giving it a thumbs up despite that, because everything leading up to it
me too.
is like really good.
Me too.
So that's a tough one.
Those blood portals in the wall and shit. The lady coming out. That's
No,
great.
it's
Yeah,
totally
like,
creepy.
Dude, here we go. Hotel R&R for $11.99.
So much
Absolute.
fun.
I'm giving this one the sign of the horns. If you like classic rock and classic rock and roll stories, you have to play this game. I really don't know why I don't fight for this game on the top 25 very much. I really think it's a top 25 game personally. Awesome.
If you like classic rock stories, I just like fucking breaking shit. That's what this game's so good at. Like, just fucking destroy the whole room. Perfect.
True. I love Hotel R&R. I think it's a little underrated. I Expect You to Die for $12.49.
Yeah, we are talking
It's
about
not for me.
Such a great
It's
game.
not for me. I'm still going to give it a thumbs up because it's a great game.
And the sequel's coming out. Might as well get up to speed, play the first one.
And it doesn't go on sale often, even though it's been on sale more lately. I'm Hungry for $10.19 or PS Plus $8.49.
No.
Too blurry.
I am hungry then.
It's so blurry, but
Me
it's actually kind of a fun cooking game. I just wish if it was like $5, I would give it a thumbs up. But yeah, no, middle of the road.
In Death for $14.99 with PS Plus $11.99.
It's finally on sale. It finally fucking happened. It's happening, guys. For the first time ever. On sale. Get it now. Okay, sorry.
This game's not as good as Brian's. I don't agree with this.
Didn't this game
sorry, go ahead.
almost sneak into our top 25?
It did
It
get
did
into our
sneak
top
into our
25.
top 25.
Because Brian just likes to pick a random game and throw it in there.
AJ, for a reason, the chat suggested it, and
one person suggested it.
Well,
Yeah, and it was a
the
great
chat.
choice.
We call them all the chat.
I'm not against it. I like it. It's a good game,
Same as this.
especially for $11.99.
It's better than Hotel R&R. I'll give it that.
It is. It is absolutely twice as good as R&R.
Just saying.
Kind of.
Thumbs
All right.
up. Let's continue.
Moving on.
I agree, and I should like it more than you. Island Time VR for $7.49.
A little too expensive.
I actually
I think
like this game, but yeah, it's like $3 or $4. Wait for it to go on a better sale.
Yep.
Job Simulator for $12.99.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
Why do you
don't
not
have
own
it
this thing already?
already. Sure, you
And if you don't want to spend $12, I'll sell you my physical copy for like $150.
Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes for $8.99. I don't know. I got this one.
If you have a friend to sit with in real life, it's incredible. It's so much fun. Even a group of people. This is a great party game, and it works really well. Great.
I agree. Moving on.
Knockout League for $11.99 with PS Plus $9.99. This is like one, guys, I really think you should pick up. I think this game is criminally underrated and really
Why don't
awesome.
you fight for it on the top 25 list, AJ?
I could technically.
You keep track of who's elongating the show, AJ.
Right.
It's probably one of my top 25.
We're making it. We're making it. It's happening.
Kona VR bundle for $3.99.
Yes. Blurry
Say
as hell,
yes.
but I don't care. It is such.
Yeah.
Blurry and boring.
Oh my
Picture
god.
yourself being snowbound, and you can't see anyways because there's so much fucking snow, and you'll be fine.
I could play many other VR games with that. Mars Alive for $10.19. PlayStation Plus $8.49.
On arrival.
Couldn't pay me to play it. Mervils for $5.99. Save yourself.
Of course.
God, save yourself. Don't listen to Brian. Don't listen to Twitcher. Don't
would-
listen to
Listen,
everyone else.
I wouldn't pay more than $6, but yeah, for $6, it's a little budget, fun third-person platformer. Yeah, do it.
It's Roots of Shadow Legend. You guys can go back and see the chronology of this team that became so great.
That's right.
Mind Labyrinth VR Dreams for $15.99 with PS Plus $13.99.
$4 game.
Yep, agreed. This one's going to be a tough one. Mini Motor Racing X for $9.99 with PlayStation Plus $8.74.
Don't they have an update coming?
Yeah, the
They
party
do have
pack. It's coming any day now.
And it's free, right?
Dude, I
Because that's a lot of content for $8.74.
it's not a tough one for me. This is a definite thumbs up. It's not like your typical racing game. It's very RC Pro-Am, and in first person, it's super intense. But yeah,
I'm going to give this a thumbs up with the promise or hope that the DLC is good.
Well, assuming, but free stuff is always a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's a really good price. Brian Emerald doesn't make any really bad games. Moss for $11.99. This is definitely a top 25 game that got freaking robbed.
yeah, great game.
Better than Ghost Giant. I like Ghost Giant though, so I'm not going to talk shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm going to give a big thumbs up to this. Moss.
All right.
yeah.
Neon Wild $2.49.
No.
No, I actually agree with your thing on your video.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
it's not bad.
bad. It's just not like
PSVR.
I'm literally never going to start my PSVR headset up in PS5 to play Neon Wall. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, some games can do that classic arcadey style with that thing and make it work. Like Polybius, I'll boot up to play any day.
Yeah.
Neon Wall, I forgot it existed until you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Never out.
never out for 119. I have this and still haven't played it. I'm gonna say no.
It's not that good. It's really not that good.
I've played it.
Operencia, The Stolen Sun for $14.99. This is a big thumbs up for me, but you have to like classic dungeon crawlers. Huge thumbs up for me, though. I put 30 hours into this game, and it was an assault on my brain, and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm a here as well.
Paper Beast for $17.99. I want this to be cheaper.
If you're skeptical about this game, wait till it's the price of a movie ticket.
There's also a demo.
When this is the price of a movie ticket, buy it. If you're interested in it, because it is one of those experiences like you won't come back to it probably, but it's interesting. It's cool. I'll give it a thumbs up for a better price, so a middle of the road for this price.
Honestly, you guys know, I just didn't enjoy my time with this game. Like I wanted to. I love indie games. I love artistic games, and it just didn't do anything for me. I don't see what everyone else sees, and I'm sad about that.
I saw signs. There were signs of greatness. There were signs of greatness, but just wasn't a great game. Oh God. Paper Dolls for $10.19 with PlayStation Plus $8.49. No. Brian's gonna say yes.
I'm giving it middle of the road. Middle of the road. It's like a 6 to 8 hour game, man, and it's just the locomotion system is god awful. But I mean, I think there's still a fun game hiding there somewhere. So it's like you got to be really tolerant. You got to be like really patient to play this. And I mean,
I like this game until about 2 hours into it, and then it just totally shits the bed. Paranormal Activity for $11.99 with PlayStation Plus $8.99. Big thumbs up.
Yes.
Saved my Halloween 2018.
Absolutely. Amazing
awesome
game. Super polished. Just looks great. Super scary. I love it.
Very scary.
All right, so we're almost to the news, and we got 16 minutes left.
We're making it, man. We're making it. My video is only 9 minutes left.
Pierhead Arcade for $8.99 with PlayStation Plus $7.49. I like this game a lot. I'm still going to give it a no right now because there's just so many others that we've been recommending that I would put before this. And it's a very isolated experience.
If you liked the sort of Carnival Games VR style of game, this has more to it because you can unlock more fun toys to play with. You can get drones and RC cars and all this cool stuff. So that aspect of it is better. Unfortunately, on PC, it's got multiplayer, which does not exist on PlayStation. So that's kind of a mark against it, I would say. If it had multiplayer, it'd be like a must-have, I would say, probably. Yeah. As it is, I'm middle on this, but leaning towards up.
I'm leaning enough towards up to say yes because I do love the gameplay loop of playing the games and having fun with that, and then buying the prizes and having fun with those. And I'm like, so why not?
Yeah, there's little tanks and stuff you can drive around, aren't there? There's all
RC airplane and stuff. Yeah.
This is another time. Get it another time.
I'll say also all that kind of stuff. When we get PokerStars VR, it has essentially half of that in the game that you can get in PokerStars, which is a free game. So
next up,
you might have to spend free money on it. But
Pistol Whip for $16.24, regular price $25. This is an easy thumbs up, double thumbs up. Absolutely.
Go play,
especially with $20.49. Yep.
$20.89. $20.49 is the movie.
Shit.
Blade Runner.
Yep, I knew that.
And $20.99 is our
Pixel Ripped 1989 for $7.49.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big fan of this game.
It's a classic at this point, man. It's like if you get a PSVR headset or any VR headset, you just need Pixel Ripped to go along with it.
Yep.
You guys do a classics series like they did with PlayStation 4, with the red line on top. It's these are the VR classics.
They got to sell 1 million to make it. So maybe not.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beat Saber.
Beat Saber and Drunken Bar Fight. It's that's pretty much it.
Pixel Ripped 1995 for $13.99. This one's a little tougher.
It's a little tougher.
In the middle on this. If you don't have the first one, buy the first one for the price it's at because you get the same experience essentially, same vibe, same feeling from it. Second one's more of the same and more expensive. So
I hate to say it, but the second one was too clean. It was too clean and too safe for me.
It's family friendly. The first one was so I'm giving this middle of the road, but I will say I had a lot of fun with it, and I think they deserve a ton of credit for all the updates they brought to this game. It made it so much better. The collectibles, the power ups, the new move that you can make. Yeah, it's way better than it was at launch for sure. So maybe for a couple bucks less.
Yeah, I think Chad's gonna kill us for giving this the middle of the road, but yeah,
maybe just JML. Prison Boss VR for $9.99.
Another middle
this
of
one
the
never
road.
stuck with me. Yeah, I'm kind of. I know some people really like it.
Not good to be cheaper. Play the demo.
Played it for a couple hours. I liked what I played. Never went back to it.
Yep.
Red Matter for $12.49. PlayStation Plus $11.24. Guys, if you have a PlayStation Pro or PS5, this is one of the best looking PSVR games. It's an amazing puzzle game, Dave.
He said it. He said it.
It's an amazing puzzle game. I said it.
Thumbs up.
That only counts as one. Big thumbs up for Red Matter. Roller Coaster Dreams for $5.99 with PlayStation Plus $3.99.
So I talked this game up, and you guys are crazy. I'm the only one. This is my other time where I'll use my time. If you like the concept of exploring player-created roller coasters in VR, there is no other game available on PSVR that you can actually go to a server browser and see all these entirely Japanese people. Nobody else has made one.
I was going to say, does anybody even make, who's making it?
There's a ton of them.
They make parks, and so there are multiple roller coasters in one park, and some are hit and miss, but they have a user rating with likes and dislikes and stuff. So you can actually go in and it's the closest thing we've got to a roller coaster tycoon sort of thing in VR. Yeah. And even though it's janky and bimbo soft and all that stuff, I have a soft spot in my heart for this game. The NPC dialogue is hilarious. If you like bad good stuff, it's
Dave,
like that bad good vibe. So I'm thumbs upping this one.
I 100% agree with you, Dave, but I have a big question, and the question is have you ever played the rest of the game where you actually build your own park and have to create your own coasters and do all that stuff?
Ride roller coasters.
Okay, because
that's all flat anyways, because you can't create a roller coaster in VR.
That's what I'm saying. The 99% of this game is flat, where it's like you're actually building your own park and you're creating your own coaster, and that part is terrible and not fun at all.
Go to the mindset of I'm just going to ride roller coasters and see what's out there.
Then I'm with you. Then I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
but not for the game itself. Yeah.
I never looked at it as that game because I was like, I just want to ride shit. I don't want to sit here making stuff, because I'm lazy. I haven't made any dreams or anything. But yeah, no, I think for $6, this is for me big thumbs.
Shout out to Red Rover, the effing game cat with a $30 tip says, "You guys are Tenzing Norgay." I don't know who Tenzing Norgay is.
I don't know what that is.
Tenzing Norgay. I don't know. Our Sherpa's up the mountain of what to play on PSVR. Our Sherpa's up the mountain of what to play on PSVR.
Maybe those are people who help you climb Everest or something, like a guy.
Yeah, maybe that's a specific Sherpa. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Jargon's Joe.
Joe, you gotta clarify for the plebeians here. I have no idea what's going on. All right.
Rush VR for $9.99, PS Plus $8.74. Another game where I'm like, why the hell am I not fighting for this game every top 25? It's so good. Love this game.
Yeah, totally. Rush VR is amazing, and he's getting better. They gave us free DLC. I mean, amazing.
Yes.
It was Everest.
Molten Tropics. Such a fun thing. Separation for $9.09 or PS Plus $6.49.
Crazy. It's so good, guys. So good. If you haven't played Separation, you're missing out.
I'm a fan.
It is one of those games, though. You got to know what you're getting into. Not everybody's going to like this one.
Yeah, no action, no shooting.
It's very slow paced. It's very introspective. It's very
artistic.
And it gets kind of emotional at sometimes. It cuts you
absolutely
occasionally because it's all about loss and a really sad story at the end of the day. And so just know what you're getting into. It's great for this price, but just if you want to play that kind of game, you know.
Shadow Legend VR for $14.99. Now this is a Vitruvius game I can get behind. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Save your money with marbles and buy this instead.
VR is fuck. I feel like the combat, in the short amount of time it's been since it's come out, the combat hasn't aged well. It has not been out very long, and I feel like the combat already hasn't aged well. We've gotten so many better examples of sword fighting.
That's not its fault, but I think the non-combat stuff makes it why it's still worth recommending. Because Swordsman doesn't have that outside of combat stuff to do, that kind of world building, the little RPG interactions and stuff. And no other game really has that. So yeah.
And I also want to add to my statement by saying the sword fighting isn't so hot. But man, there's so many things you got a bow and arrow, you've got all these things that shoot projectiles. That is still very satisfying. So only the very beginning of the game when you're just swinging your sword.
It's got a doggy too.
Who's a good boy?
Okay. You can feed him steaks.
We give it lots of thumbs up.
Big thumbs up here.
That's right.
Shuttle Commander for $14.99, PlayStation Plus $12.49. No, agreed with what you said again, Brian, in your review thing.
Yeah.
It's boring and non-educational. Smashbox Arena for $5.99 with PlayStation Plus $4.99. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people like this game. I'm going to say no.
You don't have to
It's
apologize.
Just too dead to recommend. It's just too dead to recommend.
I give it two thumbs up. Buy it for $5. Keep it in your library, and let's go play it on Discord someday.
Middle of the road.
Space Rift
Those
episode.
Population 1, by the way. Did you know that?
What's
Those
that?
people ended up making Population 1.
Oh, big bucks.
Yeah,
I'd rather play that.
Nice.
I'd rather play that, of course. Sure.
Space Rift episode 1 for $9.99, PS Plus $4.99. I hate this game so much.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't hate it, but I can't recommend it anymore. I've had my time with it. It's over.
Yes.
Spark for $9.99.
Yes.
It's been cheaper. I'm going to say no because it's been cheaper.
But you only need one other person to play it. It's a super fun game. I love it.
And last time I checked, the servers weren't even working. So I'm going to try to play this one safe and say no.
I think they fixed them, but I could be wrong. Chad, keep us on it.
They probably fixed them.
I think they're fixed.
I bet Rypop knows there's some fitness guy in there. And it's...
Sports Bar VR for $5.39 with PlayStation Plus $4.04.
Back in the day, I would have recommended this, but I just feel like I can't anymore. Like it feels really outdated at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Real quick, Tenzing Norgay, referred to as Sherpa Tenzing, was...
I was already saying this, and you guys talked over me.
Was Nepali Indian Sherpa. He was one of the first two individuals to reach the summit of Everest, accomplished with Edmund Hillary on May 29th, 1953. Thank you very much for the clarification.
I thought that name sounded familiar.
No, you didn't. Don't
literally
fucking lie.
Googled that and was trying to tell you guys that. And I guess nobody heard me.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I guess not.
We're trying to move on, man. We're trying to move on. And
yeah, remember,
we're also going to revisit stuff from the chat instead of.
Well, Dave, if you would like to donate $30 to the show, then I will be happy to pause the show and listen to anything you have to say.
$30 for being on the show.
Sports Bar VR. Yeah, no one gets paid here, except for me, I guess. But my bills get paid. Sports Bar VR, $5.39. I'm giving it a thumbs down. We have Rec Room. It's better.
It's not bad, but yeah, Rec Rooms. There's just better options, right? Squishies for $2.99.
Nope.
I'm gonna say yes for Will, just because I love that guy as well.
I'll say yes to Will.
Say I don't care about your feelings, Will. This is a big thumbs down.
I'm sorry, Will. I'm sorry.
This is one of those games where it doesn't matter how cheap it is because it's just not fun to play.
It's $3 though.
Some games the price doesn't matter. It's just not fun. I don't want to spend.
I'd rather pay $3 for this than I would $6 for Marbles.
What about Good Dog, Bad Dog? What if they give you that for free? That's what I'm saying. Summer Funland, $16 or $11 with PlayStation Plus.
No, too expensive.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually say too expensive. My favorite part was walking around the park, not actually going on rides and stuff.
There's another donation from Red Rover, the effing Game Cat Dargans with the $2. Says sorry, that was a Kobayashi Maru of comments.
At least I understand that reference.
Yeah, I did too.
The unwinnable situation. I love it.
Oh, the Tenzing.
Okay.
Super Hot VR for $9.99. Another game that we kind of screwed up and didn't put in the top 25. Luckily,
Phil. It's my fault.
I tried to put it on there. I think it was on my list.
No, I think I was the only one that had it.
No, I had one.
Okay.
Great game. 10
Brian
minutes.
just fucked us over.
Probably.
Surgeon Simulator for $5.99. No,
Surgeon Sim is.
If you know what it is, I guess. I mean, it's supposed to be bad and stupid on purpose. So, you have to know that going into it. But yeah, it's not great.
Zach Lightning says Summer Funland kicks Marvel's ass, though. Everything kicks Marvel's ass. Swordsman VR for $15.99 or $14.99 with Plus. This is definitely a yes.
Yeah, it's not a huge discount, but it's a really fun game.
Yeah, they keep patching it like crazy. Like, there's going to be a new entire thing we haven't even thought of in 2 days, I'm sure. So, yeah.
Pretty VR game. The Exorcist Legion VR complete series for $22.49 or PS Plus $20.99. I know what you guys are going to say, but no, this is too expensive.
Yeah, I love it.
That's the only episodic game that made good on its promise.
Oh,
episodes.
It did release 3 episodes at once, though.
I never had the bad experience.
But they all came out. Yeah, right. Also true. Like I had those experiences, and then I had those bad experiences, and I subsequently played through it, and did not have any problems at all, and it was perfect. And so It's been a roller coaster ride for me, and so every time I played this game lately, it's perfect, and it's one of the scariest things I've ever been through. I wish it was a little cheaper on the sale, but still, I think it's great.
I hate that price. I think that it's been overpriced since day one, and it makes me mad.
It's been overpriced since day one for sure.
The Mage's Tale for $9.89.
Middle. I'm strong middle.
Strong middle, because the first half of the game is great, and the last half of the game is fucking so irritating. It's not even fun.
I'd almost lean up because I didn't finish the game.
So you don't need to know how much it sucks.
Good.
Okay.
But still, even now, I'm like, well, it was a little impressive at the time, but I don't know if in the landscape now it's like worth getting excited about. So I'm middle of the road on that one.
Yeah.
The Perfect Sniper for $6.99 with PlayStation Plus $5.99. I'm gonna say no, but if this game was like $2, I'd say yes.
Just go buy
$6.99.
He's getting the money either way. Same guy gets the money to buy Swordsman.
Yeah, I'm going to say no because it's just too expensive. $2 or $3 game would be great.
Not bad actually. Was better than I was expecting, to be honest
right.
with you. But like $2-3 for it most. The Room VR, A Dark Matter for $20.09 or with PlayStation Plus $14.99. Guys, this is an amazing puzzle game.
Drake.
Oh shit! Everybody get ready.
This is one of the best puzzle games. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm not trying to say it this much, but it's true. The Room VR, A Dark Matter is fantastic.
Especially for the $15 price point, man. It's like half price. It's like, oof.
It's so perfect.
Yeah, like at least four of the puzzle rooms in this are just like so great. The last two are like just kind of like speed through them and just finish the story. But the first four are amazing.
If you're an Egypt nerd at all, like you will love this game. I'm kind of an Egypt nerd. Like I always grew up thinking pyramids were so interesting and all this stuff is really cool. And like it's so
fucking creepy museum. Amazing.
Yeah.
So especially for 15, 20 a little bit on. Like I feel like 15 is the sweet spot. If you got PS Plus, definitely.
My video is only 3 minutes longer, man. Don't make me pause it again. Let's do this.
All right, The Walker for $5.99 with PlayStation Plus $4.99. Better than what I was expecting. Still going to say no.
Yeah, it's all right.
Definitely better. The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners for $27.99. You should have bought this full price when it came out.
It's a great game.
Yeah,
need it.
Buy another.
Yep,
it's the best game on PlayStation VR.
Buy it for your friends.
If you buy the add-on, just
no.
What?
Well,
no,
just
to get more money. Because if you're giving it cheap, they deserve more money.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I actually say buy the regular version. I don't like the. I think the tourist edition is not worth it. But if you want to support them if you just want to support them, which I think you should, buy the tourist edition. But as far as the content of the tourist edition, if you're debating which version to get the regular version.
That's what I was trying to say. I only bought it to give them more money because I love the product they put out so much. I was like, you know what? You earned another fucking $10 out of me. I don't even care. Like I've been playing this for days nonstop. So
Titanic VR for $12, $9.99 with Plus. It's usually $20.
So bad.
See, I don't think it's terrible, but like it's just still too expensive.
Yep.
Okay.
Trover say, go ahead, Brian. You want to take over the rest of them? I'll sit back.
Trover Saves the Universe, $16.49 or $15 with Plus, usually $30. That's a big thumbs up for me. Amazing, great platformer. Amazing sense of humor.
I'll give this a thumbs up. I think it's a little short-lived. I think the campaign was not as funny as the interdimensional DLC stuff. I think the DLC was more funny, but the campaign had like the gameplay in it. So I wish the main game I thought was as funny as the DLC. But yeah, we lost Dave.
AJ, it comes with the DLC, so it's a thumbs up. Let's do this, Dave. Trover.
Yes, Trover, absolutely, Trover. Yes.
Excellent. Moving on.
Twilight Path for $10.49. I like this game.
Okay.
Too expensive though. Too expensive.
$5, grab this for sure. $5 to $7, absolutely grab this game. 10 still need to be a little cheaper. Unearthing Mars for $8.99. PlayStation Plus $7.49.
I gotta say it tries so hard, but no, it's just not.
It's one of the weirdest fucking. If you like interesting weird ass shit, like the end of this game is you're walking around on Mars feeding apples to dinosaurs. Like it's really fucking strange. And then the sequel is not even the same game at all.
Unearthing Mars 2, $12 or $10 with Plus, usually $20. Middle of the road.
Middle on this.
Drone Striker all day.
If you got an aim controller, Unearthing Mars 2 is not bad actually. It's kind of fun. There's some cool boss fights. It's not terrible.
Yep.
Should
It
be
starts
cheaper.
out, it starts out great, but it wears out its welcome really fast.
I didn't think so. I liked it okay, but I'm still going middle of the road.
Vacation Simulator, $19.49, regular price $30. I say,
Why
yeah.
can't they just put this game to $15? I just want this game to be $15. They never go below
Well,
20.
I mean, Job Sim is at $12.49, so I wouldn't expect this to be 15. It just came out, but
Thumbs
it's
up,
pretty
good
good.
time. Great game, a lot of fun, tons of playability, lots of playability. I don't know what that means. V Robot, $8.24, regular price $15. You know how much fun this game is? Not fun at all.
None.
That's right. I'm waiting for my video to get caught up. We're actually ahead of my video. This is crazy. Warzone VR, $7.49, or with Plus it's just $6. Regular price $15.
This
Why-
should not be on the store.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
gonna be
supposed to
delisted.
be removed from the goddamn store, but it's not.
supposed to
And
be
this is
removed.
the only thing. Next time we get Alex in, I'm going to be like, how come you're still selling Warzone to people, dude? It's like, it's not worth it. It's no reason to buy this game.
Yeah.
Absolute.
They stripped
the
out-
most thumbs
it's an-
down of any, really, I can give. Like,
It's an online game that they stripped the online out of, and the single player is basically broken. So there's literally no reason to buy this game.
yeah,
Do not waste your money.
And
I'm so
the
sick of seeing
developer
comments on my
acknowledges. The developer says, "Don't buy this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't buy this game." I've never heard any developer.
It wasn't a bad faith thing. He was just learning on the job. Okay.
Oh no, for sure. I understand that. I'm just saying, don't buy it. If he says don't buy it, don't buy it.
Finally, guys, Wraith VR for $349, $299 on Plus.
Save your money for the good Wraith that's coming out later.
Right.
I could make
No, I mean, for that one, yeah, thumbs down.
I could make this game basically in dreams in like 5 minutes.
This is there are things about
like
this that I like, but it doesn't go
Is
anywhere.
this another Sin Studio game?
Yeah.
It's another Sin Studio game.
But there are things about it. I like the real time store. I like having to do that on the fly, like buying more ammo and buying new weapons on the fly while these things are coming after you. But it's like just the same shit for the entire wave, and like the waves are just endless, and it's just like it's darker and darker. Goodbye Brookhaven, man. Brookhaven's so good.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Brookhaven came out years before this, and it runs laps around Wraith. Honestly, just by Brookhaven experiment.
You guys,
Holy shit,
we
guys,
did
we
it.
did it.
Oh,
Good
we
job,
did it.
everybody.
We did it.
we got 12 huge news stories and an entire indie sale in 3 hours. We did it. We freaking did it. Dave is really happy, I bet.
And it wasn't my fault that it took forever this time.
It's not anybody's
No,
fault.
it was-
Everything's
time.
fantastic. Guys, I think this is going to do it for another episode of PSVR GamesCast Live. I want to say a big shout out to everybody, obviously, that hung out. Our moderators are absolutely killing it. You guys, thank you so much for making our lives easier and making this show way more fun. So thank you. Shout out to all of you. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR. Subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. Huge shout out to everybody who was here hanging out in the comments. Huge shout out to everybody who's watching this later. Of course, anyone who gave us any kind of money. Jesus Christ, it was kind of crazy earlier in the night. I really, really appreciate you helping to keep the lights on and keeping this channel running. You're fucking awesome, allowing me to live my dream. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. And of course, there's tons of you out there that sit back every single time, every single week, watch this show, don't comment, don't even click like, and don't say anything. But we know you're out there, and we appreciate you. Love you so much. All right, you guys. Another episode of PSVR GamesCast Live. That's Dave. That's AJ. My name is Bryan Poe. And we're out.
All right. Thank you so much. 9 Lives, the Game Cat. You have a great night as well. Steve, IRE, thank you so much.
out
Stop
to-
the press.
Nihilist Ryan, the game feline with the $5 donation, says, congratulations, fellow. Last minute money. Thank you so much for the last minute money, Nihilist Ryan. We love you.
Oh, yeah. Genetic Blasphemy, Magic the Game Cat. Thank you for watching, sir. Hack the Game Cat. Stay lit, y'all. Aceville, the Attack
lit.
Cat. Matt Generation Never. Good to see you, my brother. Future Bass Master 1. Bass for life. David Moore. Gyson, fist bump to you. Thank you for modding and keeping this place clean. Decepticon. Ah, yeah. GG, homie. Tax refund. The hour of his judgment has come. Game Cat. Hugh Driver. Shout out to your cousin Mac. Red Rover, the effing Game Cat. Jargons. Joe Kelly, thank you so much. Gamer Chick 13, the Diet Pepsi Cat. Thank you so much. LW McWayne. Cat. You. Donatello the side Game Cat. You have a great week as well. I'm vegan. You got cold. It's good to see you again. No Pockets, aka Who Dat? Game Cat. Hermit Dan, no problem, man. Thank you for joining in. Battlefield Bill, You Stay Frosty, E3D, DJ the Pumpkin Patch Kid, Gabriel 004, the License to Meow Game Cat, Meow Meow, Meow Meow, Meow Meow, Meow, Triangulator, my dude, VR.
Ooh, Arland Theodoric rolling in with the $4.99. Last second says good night. Thank you, Arland.
Arland, I've texted 2 different numbers for you, and you still haven't responded. I don't have your newest number. Text me, man. I'll
he still shows up in my streams too.
Perfect.
That's awesome, by the way.
Thank you so much for the tip, bud. We really, really appreciate it.
Zach
Oh,
Lightning.
there's more. Shit.
I think that's about gonna do it, guys. Thank you. I see you, Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry. I gotta get Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry. Darwin's eyeball.
Dude, we got to give Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry a special shout out. He's been doing all of the thumbnails, He's been doing all the timestamps for all of these shows, and you know how extensive those get.
Yeah.
But for some reason, YouTube doesn't let him post them to the comments, so he actually has to email them to me, so I can copy and paste them in. Thank you so much, Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry. You're fucking doing God's work out there. We love you.
Braxton B. Dan Kiefer.
Is that everybody?
That's everybody.